stream. It's Sunday night / Monday morning, and I'm ready to open up all the Pokemon cards. What's going on, Mike Side? Thanks for making the thumbnail. Look at these lovely cards. Espeon, Sylveon, Umbreon. Oh my gosh. Anyone that gets cold pulls a ban. Anyone that gets cold pulls gets a ban. Sylveon, Umbreon, Espeon. How's it going, everyone? So yesterday night, I was not live, which is pretty rare actually on this channel. I go live all 7 days of the week, and you guys are probably pretty used to that. At least the regulars are. And I took like 1 day off. And, well, actually, technically, I guess I had a day or two off maybe 2 weeks ago when we were moving as well. What's up, Luke? How's it going, Baron? Raphael says, so only hot ones tonight. I was lost and in despair, says Mike Side. Mister, I want a free pack. Mister, I'm telling my mom. How's it going, Caitlin? Yesterday was my wife's birthday, and so I just kind of hung out with her. That was it. And technically it's today. Today is my wife's birthday, right? Oh, no. Well, no, it's 12:07 now where I live. So yesterday was her birthday. So I didn't go live. I just kind of hung out with her that night. And but we're here tonight. So I had a fun time in the sun today. I hope you guys did. Did you get a new DBZ set in? Not yet. It's on my list. Your birthday's on Saturday. How's it going, Diego? Happy birthday. If you guys were on my TikTok account, you saw the last video I posted was she and I were on our deck getting ready to go swimming that day. Casper says, Mister only takes days off when it benefits him. I couldn't sleep because you didn't go live. Hot night for hoops. Well-deserved time off. Yeah, taking a day off. Oh, man. Wives get birthday month. That's right. They get a whole month. It's a little bit different for guys. Guys just get a day. Girls get a month. What did we do today? We for her birthday, we got an electric motor, but we don't know what to use it on yet. For like the water. Excuse me. We bought a 2-person stand-up paddle boat, but it's really hard to use with both people standing up. So we really use it more like a canoe or maybe a kayak, like a stand-on-top kayak or sit-on-top kayak. And we went exploring to places we've never seen on the water. And she got very sunburnt, and I did not because I put on the sunscreen better than she did. And we got ticks, so we were picking ticks off of each other. That was fun. Yeah, it's been pretty wild. We just saw a raccoon trying to get food out of our trash can. It's like, man, it was a huge raccoon too. And it was so close to our door, you could just look out the window and it like stares at you. Space Knight says, wait, are those evolutions for sale? Evolutions? That's right, they're all for sale. All for $10. Buy. No. These are these are definitely not for sale. These are Sun and Moon era hyper rares, and I just wanted to show them off was all. I like to show off some cards, right? Like we got some Charizards back here. We got some evolutions here. Although these are from the base set, Sun and Moon base set, which you can actually open. And we've pulled these before from the base set. We've also pulled the Sylveon Full Art. Have we pulled the Hyper Rare? I don't know if we pulled the Hyper Rare. The Hyper Rare from the Guardians Rising, the Hyper Rare Sylveon it just doesn't pull that often. And there's a lot of other crappy pulls in the Guardian Rising set. So this Sylveon is probably a little underpriced. These two are both in the Sun and Moon base set. So if you don't pull one, you might pull the other. It's really nice. Mister, did they fix the jet ski yet? Not yet, but we should have it this week. Mister, are those slabs in perfect fit sleeves? They sure are. Espeon's the better one anyway, says Mike Side. Those cards are awesome, says Sergio. I like them. Do you guys like them? I'm a big fan, actually. I'm a big Cherryzard pulse that will make you mauled. That's right. Do a boat stream? Well, we got to have a boat first. And it could be a while before we buy a boat, actually. You know, I was working on getting more stuff prepared for grading cards, and I'm in contact with the company that sells ultrasonic welders. And to get this ultrasonic welder is going to cost me $9,000. That's going to be the price. It's going to be $9,000. I don't even know if that includes shipping. I hope it does, but it probably doesn't. And if it doesn't include shipping, it's probably going to be shipped freight, and it's probably going to be another $500. That's my guess. Probably going to arrive in a big wooden crate. So, yeah. 8K for Mister is chump change. I wish 8K was chump change. Man, that's about how much I lost in the stock market to the cryptocurrencies. I sold out. I sold out above 2,000. It was almost 2,400. And Ethereum later fell to like, it crashed today. It fell to like 1,700 at one point, but I think it's back up to 2,100, which is still lower than the point that I sold out of. So I don't know. I kind of want to buy back in just because maybe it's my best chance of recovering some of that lost money. It's hard to say. 8K is like 3 stimmies. I know. All right. So I tell you guys what, we did have 2 pre-orders from yesterday. I'd like to fulfill those. Oh, Amita says, how are you? Oh, I'm exhausted. And it's not because I didn't get enough sleep. I was kayaking today. My arms are like dead, like I can't move them. And I hurt my upper back. Have you ever pulled your upper back? It feels like you can't move, or else it's going to hurt your lungs almost. And that's because I had to carry like this stand on top board. It came in like this box that was like a bazillion pounds it weighed like. And I had to carry it from the top of our driveway all the way down to our dock, and I threw it up on my shoulder to do that. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm 32 years old, out of shape, and I haven't exercised in like ever. So I carried it down there, and I had already pulled my back. And then I'm like, who cares? Let's just go paddling, right? So I got on the water, and we paddled for like a good hour, hour and a half. I'm wasted, guys. You have a sup? I have a 2-person sup for me and my wife. And so now my arms are like frail children's arms because they've been overused, and my back hurts. So that's how it is. But let's see. We've got 2 pre-orders from yesterday night. One is Ricardo Lycia, and he wants 2 Jet Blacks, 2 Matchless Fighters, and 1 Dragon Ball Z Super Evolutions. Okay, Mr. Ricardo. Let's grab his bag first. He says, damn, that's a huge sup for 2 people. It's very large. It cost $1,600 or something like that. Is this the one? It was pricey. I got it for my wife because it was her birthday. So she got her birthday present. Here we are. I feel very stiff right now, though. 2 Matchless. Like, I don't want to move around too much with my back. And you'd be surprised how, like, active you have to be for this live stream. It's kind of a physical live stream. And 1 Dragon Ball Super. All right. You're going to Las Vegas. What happens in Las Vegas follows you home and causes you to have to go to the doctor and collect little pills. Sneep. Dude, even my hands are tired. Dr. Fauci is the Antichrist. He does have kind of a scary looking face. Mr. Dr. Fauci now admitting COVID-19 is not natural and came from a lab? Is that real? No, that's crazy, man. I look tanner already, do I? Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty blazing hot sun. My wife got sunburned. I did not get sunburned. 1, 2. Ooh. Zororo. I don't know how to say this guy's name right. TheCardconomist just stays in Vegas. Nah, it comes home with you. And you go, damn it, I shouldn't have done that. All right, and from the Super Evolution, we pull Testing the Opposition and Death Blaster. Very nice. Oh my gosh, stepsis, I'm a muck. Time to pick up those stripper cards from the Vegas sidewalk. Oh man, one of the things my wife and I did, we visited kind of like the main street by the dam, right? So there's the Bagnell Dam out here in Lake of the Ozarks, and they have sort of like a main street full of restaurants and just a bunch of restaurants, some novelty shops as well. And we went into this pawn shop, and it was so crazy. You could barely move. It was so full of stuff, and it was like really weird stuff too. I've been in various pawn shops, and this one was so like, it was reflective of the area. It had like all this Indian stuff and just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It had like all these antiques that were totally crazy. And then it had like a whole sex shop attached to it. So you could go, if you were 18, you could go into the sex shop. They got all these like tools for doing drugs, bongs and all that. And God, it was so weird. It was so trippy. You went upstairs and they had even more crazy stuff upstairs. They had like all these skulls upstairs of various animals, because I guess people go hunting and trapping outside. You could buy like a whole wolf fur, You know what I mean? Like with the feet and the head still attached. Yeah, it was really weird. So that was on their main street by the Bagnell Dam. And it looks pretty cool. We're going to go back there and get some food sometime. Mister, did you listen about black fungus in the lungs? I did not. Sounds exotic. Mister. Next up, we have Emmanuel Gallen. Emmanuel says, 1 chump's path. I have a bag. All right, good luck, Mr. Emmanuel. So this is for Emmanuel. He pre-ordered this yesterday night. We're opening it tonight. Yeah, there's all this weird, crazy stuff. Do you think DOGE is going to spike again? I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going to happen. You know, it would be nice if, like, all of a sudden everyone was buying back into crypto, but crypto's so speculative. I feel like after this crash, I don't know if people will be willing to jump in the same way that they were earlier. Because I think a large part of the reason that people were jumping in so deep is because everyone was looking at crypto going, well, this is a serious investment now. You're going to miss out if you don't invest. Institutions are jumping in, you know, there's mainstream adoption. Ooh, right. So I think that's how people were perceiving cryptocurrencies before this crash. And now it's crashed over 50%. Definitely anyone who had that perspective before the crash, that has changed. They're going, this is definitely speculative. They're going, this is like a decentralized Ponzi scheme. Doodoo coin to the moon. That's right. I'm going to get some of that cum rocket to the moon. This is whatnot ads be like, this is insane. All right. Mr. Emmanuel says he has a bag. You must invest in fundamental coins that have actual use. That's right. That's why I'm investing in SafeMoon. Emily. Oh, here we go. Mr. Emmanuel. He's back here. MILF coin. Boy, I'm buying some MILF coin. Oh, another thing my wife and I did was we started a fire in a little fire pit that we own now, and we roasted some marshmallows. Actually, I suspect that's when we got the ticks. I think we got the ticks either then or we went through a big walk through the woods and through the main road by our home to see all the other homes. Dude, we're living in like vacation home paradise out here. It's beautiful out here. Can't believe we're living here. As soon as I get my first paycheck, I'll buy only a little bit of crypto and let it grow. You got ticks? That's right. We've got Lyme disease now. Did you check Quip for ticks? Yeah, we were checking for ticks. I had like 2 and she had like 2. They were real small ticks. And yep, we think we got them the previous night sitting out on these old chairs. And we were roasting up marshmallows. Other than that, we don't think we could have gotten it from our deck because there's no vegetation or anything on our deck. I guess it's possible, but we don't really walk in the grass. But that's right, I did, Mr. Bradsman. So we walked through the forested area for a while as well when we were examining the area we actually lived in and we were examining our homes. Mister, have you seen the popular scalper video where all the scalpers fought for pokies at Walmart? I did. It was so funny to see. It was crazy to see it, actually. It's pretty much like, look, the reason it's happening is because Walmart won't raise its prices. I don't know if it won't raise the price or if it can't raise the price. Maybe Walmart has an agreement with the distributor that it's not allowed to raise its price, you know, like price controls. But, you know, to get rid of all those scalpers, you know, if there is a supply shortage, to get rid of all those scalpers, all Walmart has to do is raise its price to meet the online price. So if Walmart would do that, this would pretty much put the scalpers out of business. And Walmart won't do that for some reason. So that's why you see people rushing over there. It's like everyone knows that they're underpriced at the Walmart shelf. Yeah, it's really silly. Tony says they can't raise the price. They were after sport cards in that video. Jesus. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, so all Walmart has to do is every single day, whatever the price is online, that should be the price for the Pokemon cards and the sport cards at Walmart. And if Walmart simply matched that online price, the scalpers will be put out of business immediately. But they don't do that. So that's what's going on. Yeah, I thought about it more. We don't need like a new law or anything to protect Pokemon cards from scalping. The retail companies just need to stop underpricing the cards. Mister, has the large been ran yet? Not yet. All right, so I'm refreshing, and let's see if anyone wants to open some pokies on this wonderful Sunday night. It's Sunday night. Okay, I can see my big order that I made with Dick's Sporting Good. We've got Yakov. Yakov says 3 hoops packs. I have a box and a bag. How's it going, Mr. Yakov? Welcome back. It's Monday. That's right. It's Monday morning, Sunday night. Mr. checked Quip for ticks. Mister, if they raised the price, wouldn't it affect you? Not really. The way my whole channel is run, and I just acquire the cards, and then I put on a little multiplier that is, you know, sort of like my fee for operating the live stream, and then my costs as well, like shipping, for example. Every time I ship you guys cards, I got to buy $500 of shipping a day, in fact. So I just slap that on, and you guys are the ones that might have to pay higher prices, not me. I just offer the cards for sale based on the market price. See what I'm saying? So it might affect you guys, but it wouldn't affect me. In other words, if the price of the Pokemon cards were to fall down to what they were 2 years ago, once again, it wouldn't affect me. I'd do the same calculation, and it would be great for you guys because you'd get the same cards for a much lower price. Troy, what do we have here? Kevin, Reggie Jackson, Cassius, and Jemias. All right, let's leave them up. How's it going, Yakov? Welcome back, man. I was out for a walk the other day, and a big wolf spider decided to hitch and ride on your leg. Oh no, Mister. What happens in China stays in China. That's right. We've got Thaddeus, Clay, Rudy, Luke Kennard, Jonathan. Here's Denny, Avdija, and we've got Alexi. Oh my God, what is up with this? And Isaac Okoro. Oh man, each card was like reversed, upside down. Your mom made you laugh. All right, very nice. These are some weird looking pokies. I know. Mr. Yakov said, open the strange looking pokies, the one that looks like people. Mr. Yakov, here's your book bag. Do you play Pokemon Go? I play Pokemon Go to the polls. That's an old Hillary Clinton joke. I feel like I'm stupid explaining it. It's not even funny. Mister, are you going to get yourself an NFL pack or just don't know enough to want to get one? I certainly don't know anything about NFL cards. So if I bought it, I would just be buying it blind. I mean, I guess I could. Do you play PTC Go? I play PTC Go. That's right. That's exactly what I play. Now, I just hand out the codes to the little kids when they go, you got any codes, mister? You got any codes? Sergio's here. What's up, Sergio? All right, let's see. Where did we last put you, Cobb's bag? I bet we put you up top. You seem like an up top bag. Ah, here it is. You are an up top bag. You're an uptown girl. You got any codes, mister? All right. You got any water? Toss this up top. Ooh. David Correa. What's up, David? He says, can I please have 2 NBA hoops? I want to try them out. Thank you and have a great night, says David. Wow. The NBA hoops are very popular. 2 hoops. Who is that Caitlin Young person? Hoops. Sleep. Cardconomist, you are funny. Aw, thanks. There's so much COVID in India, but the government is still conducting exams. You mean like school exams? Hell yeah. Alpha Chad, India. They said you're still showing up to your algebra exam. Here's Austin, Christop, Nicholas, John, Darren. Who's this? Anthony Davis. That sounds terrible, by the way. I was just joking. Here's Jalen and Denny. Yeah, I just want to be clear. That sounds terrible. Boop. Oh, people around you are dying from COVID. We don't have enough treatment for everyone. Here, take this math test. Boop. The strong will survive. We've got JJ Reddick, Jason, Patrick, Mike Conley, Nicola. I can't remember. Was Nicola good? No, Nicola wasn't good. James Wiseman, Omiyeka. Is this like a Japanese player? Jesus. Okungwu and Saban. What is that name? So the power went out in this room the other night, and it like destroyed my laptop. My laptop was doing memory recovery for like a whole day, and it just finished today. Like it needed me to hit some buttons for it to finish. But yeah, it was, man, it was wigging out, man. Nikola Jokic is in the running for MVP. Ah, so I wasn't mistaken. Nikola Jokic. Here you go, mister. Sleeve that up. I have a bag, mister, says David Correa. Thanks, David. How was swimming yesterday? I went swimming yesterday, and I went swimming today, and I've never felt more healthy in my life because you go out, you get fresh air, you do some really tough exercise. I mean, just everything about it is 100% good. And it's pretty cool, too. I'm excited to eventually get... Wait, what was his name again? David. Okay. I'm excited to eventually get a jet ski. I really would like a jet ski because we watch people zip by on their jet ski, and I tell you what, it makes us very, very, very jealous. Dog update. We haven't seen the dogs in a few days. Yeah, we haven't seen them. We didn't see them all yesterday, and we didn't see them today either. But there was like a new third dog. It was this big black dog. We couldn't identify the species or whatever it is, the breed. Not the species, the breed. It was this big black dog just roaming around. I think everyone in this little area just kind of lets their dog do whatever they want. But I think I get it too now. I think I understand this area a bit more. I think people are sort of treating this area, this street, this part of the lake, whatever, as almost just like a vacation home. And they don't want to have to follow any kind of rules at all. You know what I mean? I think that's sort of the, what would be the term, ethos or something of the area. Who let the dogs out? Oh, I'm not going to sing that. I hate that song. Edgar Lazarin, he says, it's me, Ran Miciel. Sneak some shiny My Little Ponies. You got it, mister. Ran wants some ponies. My Little Ponita. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lately, it seems a lot like the Pokemons have way more ponies in it, doesn't it? You got regular Ponyta, but then you've also got the new Galarian Ponyta and Galarian Rapidash. And then you have the Calyrex character, and he's like, yeah, I ride a pony. You know what I mean? Pretty sure if you get bit by a dog, you got to pee on it so it won't get infected. That's right. Well, I mean, they say if you get bit and scratched by a stray dog, not a stray, but just any roaming dog, you're supposed to see a doctor and get your updated rabies shots. And it's like, it's kind of, it's interesting, you know. I don't think a lot of people get rabies in the United States anymore. But actually, every year, there are a few cases. Look at this, Carousel Boutique. Have you guys ever watched a video on somebody dying from rabies? It's horrible. It's like they've got a zombie disease. And it's crazy to think, oh, who's this? Screwy, barking mad. There you go, Ran. Ran says, no, TCC, sneep the hollows. What? Oh, Ran says, sneep, My Little Pony. All right, well, let's find all the hollows first. Ran, you sneeping My Little Pony? You're out of control, man. What do we got? Oh, you're pulling like all the hollows. Are you sure you want to sneep the hollows? You might be able to trade them off to somebody who collects these. Rabies is wild. He says, I ain't no brony. All right, so we're going to keep these hollows for our friend Ran Miciel, the #1 brony simp on this channel. In fact, that's pretty much his title now. Rand says Sneep. You got it, man. They're your cards, and we can do anything you want with them. You did pretty good on your pulls, though. You got 3 hollows, including this character card. You got it. Rand's got the he's got the rope out. All right, Sneep. Oh, mister. Rabies infected people when they realized they're mostly made out of water. Yeah, I was reading that. I couldn't understand, like, why would the rabies virus, you know, sort of like kill its infected host? Wouldn't that be bad for the virus? I was learning that with the rabies virus, there's quite a few animals that can get rabies who don't die from it. It's really just humans that die from it, right? So there's bats and I can't remember the other ones. There's a few other animals, not just bats, who can actually have the rabies virus and live while they have it. But not humans. If you guys were to get rabies and you didn't treat it in time, you would basically be guaranteed to die. You have a small window of time to treat rabies. If you contract it, you have a small window of time, and if you don't treat it in that time, it kills you, like almost always. Rabies is hydrophobic. That's right. I think there's rabies in Taco Bell. That's right. Yeah, rabies are crazy. Rabies will actually, they'll make it so that you can't drink water. That's what the rabies virus does. You try to drink it, but your body and your brain doesn't want you to drink it. The sad part about rabies is it can show its effects years after. Paul says, where are you, Zelavir? You're in Taco Bell right now. Oh my gosh. So what Dylan is talking about when he says rabies can show its effects years later, he's not wrong. You can actually get rabies and appear to not have them. You're like, no, I'm fine, I don't have rabies. But then maybe like a whole year later, they actually take effect. Animals infected by rabies are terrifying. James is here. What's up, James? Who wants me to give them rabies? Can I drink coffee? Yes, but not water. Mister only contracts rabies when it benefits him. Rabies prevent you from getting COVID. Oh my God. All right, let's go refresh. A small price to pay. Refresh. So, next up we've got Ryan Blanton. Hello, Ryan. He says, Mister, 4 Shining Fates and 2 Champions Path. All right. 4 Shiny Fates, huh? Well, I got 2. He wants 2 Champions Path as well. 1, 2. So there's your Champions Path. And I'm going to need some more Shining Fates. Do I have some over here? Oh, man, my back hurts so much. This is the rabies stream. That's right. This is the rabies stream where we learn all about rabies. All right, Shining Fates. Dude, I'm low on Shining Fates. I don't have a lot left. 1, 2, 3. How much did he want? He wanted a total of 4, so there's a total of 4. I came here to relax. Now I'm twice as more stressed because of the rabies. They're gonna get you. Look out, Mom, no! My girlfriend saved a stray fox. Oops. My girlfriend saved a stray fox that turned out to have rabies, and she grabbed it with her bare hands and luckily didn't get bit. Oh man, well I'm sure she got shots and everything anyways. You don't mess with the rabies. Possums don't get rabies because they play dead. Oh my God. Ooh, another fun thing that happened to me. I was watching a video of a African bullfrog eat one of those giant hornets, the death hornets or whatever, you know, like from Japan. And it just chewed it up. And the hornet couldn't kill it. And I didn't know this, but did you know a lot of toads and frogs are basically like resistant or immune to venom? I didn't know that. They're evolved to eat venom. Very crazy. Hey, do you have any Sword and Shield Jet Black Spirit boxes for sale? Yeah, I have I have quite a few sealed boxes right next to me if you'd like a whole box. Westfire says, 1 bite for the rest of your life. Rabies. Brian, are you in the chat? Animals are cool. They're so cool. Animals are crazy. I was watching an Ethiopian tribe on YouTube, and these guys climb these crazy high trees to get to the very top branches where they chop the branch open, and it turns out there are bees in there making honey inside the tree, inside the branch. So I was like, wow, that's crazy too. Have you noticed all the roadkill in the Ozarks? Armadillos live for it, apparently. Yeah, so there's dead armadillos everywhere on the side of the road. Grass Pokemon are underrated. Pack number 2. Let's see what we got. Oh, Grapple Locked Full Art. Loving it. Take a look at that. Hey, that one wasn't too bad in 2 packs. How about the Shiny Fates? Can we pull Cherryzard tonight? That'd be nice. Boss's order. Brian wanted my Caitlin and said he'd give me a Shiny Umbreon. I realized I would much rather have the what? Here's Surfetched. Oh, mister. I get help from a horse. What? They aren't immune to my fishing hook. Same with turtles. A turtle ate my bait and swallowed my hook and died. Ah, that sucks, man. Yeah, that's unfair for the turtles. I saw a box turtle on the side of the road. He was just sitting there waiting to get run over. I was like, you better not go any further. Maybe he was just getting roasty toasty under the sun. Okay, here are the pulls. I think they're pretty decent. Grapple Locked from Champion's Path, Dartrix, and Galarian Surfetched. Sweet. Mister, how can I send you mail? I have a fake booster box. Fake booster Pokemon Ablaze. I got scammed. Yeah, be careful out there, guys. There's scammers selling fake booster boxes. And if you're not familiar with buying cards, you could get scammed pretty fast. There's a lot of Chinese counterfeit product out there. And what they like to do is they like to take a picture of the real product, and they might even have a U.S. address. And then you buy it, and they ship you the box, and then when it arrives, it's a Chinese box, right? So it's a counterfeit box. And you think that they would only do that with expensive vintage stuff, but no, they're doing it with modern stuff too. All right, Ryan Blanton. Yeah, I've been scammed before. I bought some Celestial Storm, and it was Chinese product. And I couldn't even get my money back on PayPal. Isn't that crazy? Couldn't get my money back. It was just gone. I got it at Offer Up in person. What? Next up, we got Dustin Day. Dustin says, hello, mister. Hope you're having a good night. I'll take 5 Japanese team up. All right. Japanese team. 5 of them, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Japanese team up right now. For anyone watching, if you don't know what to buy, you don't know what to open, this is my favorite set to open right now. It's got all of the good qualities of the team up set, and it actually probably drops some of the lower quality cards, because I know Pikachu Zekrom is in here, Gengar Mimikyu is in here, Snorlax and Eevee, Celebi Venusaur, Magikarp Wailord. So what are we missing? Just the bad ones, right? And then at the same time, the hollows are the Blastoise and the Charizard, right? So this is really good, surprisingly good. Mister, I'm going to send you a picture via Disorganized of the most hilarious fake box. I want a fake box. Not really. Speaking of boxes, are you guys ready for a new vintage box break? I was thinking of doing Topps Series 1 and Topps Series 2 box breaks. What do you guys think of that? Okay, here goes. We got... Oh, I thought that was going to be double hollow. Moltres. James says yes. Pack number 2 is cold. Pack number 3 is whoever this guy is. Pack number 4 is cold. Come on, pack number 5. It's Jinx and Gengar Mimikyu. I'm telling you guys, Gengar Mimikyu. Very nice, mister. The Topps cards be grown on me. Oh, they've more than grown on me. I love Topps. When I had them as a kid, I already had them as a kid. And so the Topps cards, in my opinion, are quite collectible. And they've been overlooked, in my opinion. You know, Topps is a reputable card company. And these cards are 20 years old. And they're so affordable, it definitely won't last, in my opinion. I think it's just because people haven't brought very much attention to it. Which was kind of how the Japanese old, like, TCG cards were before I brought attention to it. Like, Base Set, Gem, Rocket, Fossil, Jungle. Nobody even wants to join the large for the Topps Zard. Yeah, but that's because it's, you know, the large for the Topps Zard is not like buying a booster pack. What you're doing is you're buying a chance to pull the Charizard over there. And people are correctly, what's the right word? They're correctly, I can't think of the correctly thrifty with their money over there. Because, you know, you have a lot to lose if you don't pull him. Really only just one guy pulls him. So I can understand people's reservation for not filling that list up like, you know, like that. Okay, Dustin Day. Let's find Dustin Day. We got Dustin Day right here. What's the large at? Let's go see. I actually don't remember. The large is at 18. And I think it's going to get up to like 28. So there's about 10 spots left in the large. Topps Chrome, Techno, Sparkle, and Spectra is where it's at. Always had great value. Yeah, those are nice. However, they're already very expensive. And I feel like the transparent Charizard in base set 2 is definitely an undervalued Charizard. Charizard collectors should definitely want that card. He's very cool. Did you guys see the transparent Bulbasaur I pulled on TikTok? Let me show you. All right, give me a second. So I opened up some Topps 2 myself. Cool pulls in here. Look at this. So this is a transparent card from the Topps 2 series. And you can see my finger through the back. See? There's a Charizard of this. And I thought that was so cool. I was like, we got to open that. And then we have the typical reverse hollows. And these are okay. Look, I think this is actually pretty cool. For people who remember watching the TV show. Also this, whatever the heck this is. What you'll notice with this is that the character actually pops off. It's kind of 3D. See that? It's got layers. So that's pretty weird. And this too, like what's going on with this? This card is actually flimsier than the other card. It's much flimsier. It's made out of a different material and I don't know why. Those are meh. Not a fan of the transparent cards. I'm a fan. All right, I'll put this over here. Whenever it comes to Pokemon cards, you know, novelty is a big deal when it comes to seeing card values rise. You want to be able to say, hey, I got this interesting card that has a cool story to it. You know what I mean? And there's lots of mediocre Charizards out there. A lot of them exist. They print them all the time. That one's actually pretty unique. So I might be picking one up myself. Fantage Lover. I thought I was going to say Fantango or something. I hated those as a kid, but now I like them even more. Yeah, actually, what does the Charizard go for? Let's see. Topps Series 2. I don't even think there's one for sale. Oh, no, wait, is this it? Oh, there's one for sale and auction. Very cool. Well, I want one for buy now. That's the price I tend to look at, though. All right, here it is. So it looks like 550, 500. Oh, this is 600 and 625. Somebody just listed one. So there it is. Very cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to get one of those. That looks really neat. All right, let's get back to that list. Who are we helping? I think we're helping Dustin Day. Yes. Okay, so after Dustin Day, we have Dan Newman. Dan says, Mr. 5 NBA hoops. Wow, NBA hoops are a banger. People are really liking it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. What's up, bopping? Here goes. How's it going, Roxas? Glad to see you guys here. Sneep. Sneep. All right, that's some wonderful sneeps. Oh, this is a fat one, huh? Oh, you got the fat one right here, mister. So what's this? Chris Middleton, Chris Dunn, Darius, ooh, Patty, Tyler Bay, huh? So you got a Tyler Bay. We'll just set the other ones down for now. Let's get this sleeved up. Dan Newman says, LaMelo, please. We pulled so many LaMelos already, but maybe we'll pull more. So there's Tyler Bay. Been a long time. Basketball cards. What's up, Jet? How's it going, Jet? Yeah, so we're trying to expand to offer more card hobbies. Obviously, my love is still with the Pokemons and always really will be, but I like the idea of just being like a card store for all cards, you know what I mean? So I'm probably going to expand to offer as much of everything as I can. And then people can just pick what they want. Here's Luca. It's Luca. Boop. That's right, Jet. You can actually go buy some My Little Pony cards right now. Here's Jackson, Jeff, Harrison, Rudy. Who's this? I have no idea who this guy's name is. Camelo? Is that Camelo? All right, we'll go ahead and sleeve him up. Boop. I love these magazine cover cards. They're very cool. Tyrese and Desmond Bain. Ooh. Carmelo. Did I say Camelo? It's Carmelo, of course. Come on, guys. I feel like I don't see this player very often. Is it Wancho? James, Ricky, Malcolm, PJ Washington, Kristaps, Kira, and Precious. Okay. Boop. Boop. And boop. That's right. I wasn't on yesterday because it was my wife's birthday. We hung out together. Here's Contavious, Thon, Aaron, Wesley. That's a numbered card. Hey, that's the first numbered card we've seen in a while. Says 32/75. Is that 32 out of 75? Wesley Matthews. Is that good, guys? Why don't I have a Pokeball after my name? Congratulations. Wow, you got both the jersey card and a numbered card. Ew, Wes Matthews. So here's Josh Green's. Yes, 32 out of 75. Wow, man. They definitely need to add that to Pokemon. That's like as cool as first edition. Could you imagine if there were only... Imagine if there was like a Charizard card and there were only 75 of them printed and it said right on the card, like 24 out of 75. Bradsman says that's a $1,000 card. Is this really? Because someone confirmed that this is a $1,000 card. Wesley Matthews. Okay, here's Taurine, Tobias, Sergey, Jeremy. Yeah, number cards would be awesome in Pokemon. It would be if he was good. You got a holographic special insert as well. Somebody in your chat said it was crazy thinking Bitcoin would go down to 30. Yeah, I know. Well, I sold off my crypto and accepted my losses earlier. Rip says, no, it's not. Derek Jones. Well, you got me all hyped for nothing, Mr. Bradsman. So here's Aaron Nesmith. Nesmith. I don't know how to say it. I don't like the fact that a company can dictate what's rare and what's not. Well, that's what trading card companies do. That's all they do. That's like the one thing that they do. Trading card companies make something that I call artificial rarity. So real rarity would be like gold and diamonds, natural occurring diamonds. They got whatever gold was an asteroid from space, blah, blah, blah. There's only so much of it. We mine it up, blah, blah, blah. Well, with something like a card, a company could print as many cards as it wants. It could print these into the dirt, basically, until they're worth nothing. But what trading card companies do is they print a limited amount of the cards so that there's only so many in circulation. So they're controlling the population on the cards. And that's what a trading card company does. They create rarity out of something that's really not that rare. You know, it's just a piece of cardboard, right? That's what people say. But they tell you, well, they don't really tell you, but you understand they don't print that many of them. And they go, that's right. So there's a second-hand economy. There's this secondary market where people can trade their collectibles and maybe even make a little money on a good trade, right? So that's what trading cards are all about. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? Now you're ready to make your own trading card company. Dude, that's cool. I like the numbered cards a lot. Okay, that was for Dan Newman. He says, bags on the table. Mr. Dan the man. Could it be this one, the one with basketball cards in it? Could you imagine a real 24-karat Pokemon card? That'd be cool. One of those numbered cards for Dwayne Deadmon is selling on eBay for $1. Oh, no. Lab-made diamonds look really good. I know. Diamonds are not a good investment if you can recreate them in the lab that easily. Hate to say it, diamond lovers, but diamond is not going to be... I don't want any diamonds. NFL Prism has numbered cards to 22. Damn. David Correa is next. David says, can I have another 2 NBA hoops? Thank you, and I have a bag. You got it, mister. That's it, guys. We're just opening hoops tonight. That's the only thing we're opening tonight. There are cards that are 1-1. Really? Damn. Give me one of those cards. All right. Good luck to our friend David. Is Discord broken? Discord was running kind of slow for me. I thought it was just my laptop. LeBron was flopping hard today. Was he? Does that mean he was playing bad? Okay. Kobe White. Marquez Shake. Is his name Shake? Shaq. Josh Jackson. Zach Collins. We got Rui Hachimura and Yuta Watanabe. What? Jersey swap. Is that kind of like... No, I'm just kidding. Is that like mug swap? Kenyon Martin and Elijah Hughes. He's a crybaby. How much is it for a whole box of sealed Sword and Shield Jet Black Spirit? Mr. Michael, you just take the regular price and multiply it by the number of packs. Mister. Here's Kenyon. And we've got Terrence Davis, Josh Okogie, Rui. Here's Tyler, Jamal, Udoka. Sounds like Udoku. Sudoku. CJ Ellaby, and Skylar Mays. Woo! These pulls are so good, mister. Look at this guy. He looked like he got to throw that basketball. David says, damn. David, what card are you looking for? Let us know. I want to know what's the big bad wolf card to pull. I'll go take a cold shower now. I'm sorry, Dave. David Correa. David, have no fear. Your pulls can't be as bad as my $8,000 loss in the crypto market. Here we go, David Correa. LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. Yeah, we've pulled a lot of LaMelos. Somebody was telling me that we were getting lucky. Okay. Let's go ahead and refresh. He's the rookie everyone wants. I want that rookie. Give me that LaMelo rookie. All right, we're just reloading. Shoshi. Welcome to our basketball card stream. That's how it's feeling. I hope you guys like opening basketball cards. because that's what we're going to open tonight. So, after Mr. David, we have Dave Jantz, who says, more My Little Pony packs, please sneak the hollows. Oh my gosh, you guys are out of control, man. What are you guys trying to sneak? You guys trying to sneak a particular pony? My moderator's sneaking all the ponies over here. You guys are secret pony fans, aren't you? This is like when you talk trash on homosexuals because you're a closeted homosexual. I think anyone sneaking My Little Pony cards, they're secretly bronies. And they hate that part of themselves. They're going, no, I'm not a brony. But you are. It's too late for you. Let's see, cold. I don't know where I'm coming up with this. He says, why sneep? I don't know, man. They want the sneeps. They're going to get the sneeps. Here we go. Big Mac. Well, I'm about to go gay for Big Mac right now. We're going to start a yiff party. My Little Ponies. Sergio is in some serious denial. That's what I'm saying, guys. All right. Is My Little Pony profitable? I mean, for collectors, good question, because I don't think PSA is grading My Little Pony cards. But I was saying, we could maybe ask them and just see what happens. Maybe they would. And I can tell you, whenever I get my grading equipment up, if you pulled a My Little Pony card and you wanted it graded, I would go grade it for you. Look at that. Jay says, where's the football? We do have football packs right now, but they're real pricey. They're like $200 a piece. And they're on a reserve list of 12 packs. And when that reserve list sells out, we're going to open all 12 of them, okay? Okay, so Mr. Dave Jantz, you said sneep. Are you sure you want to sneep this stud? This Apple stud? You decide if he lives or dies right now, Mr. Dave. Okay, he says sneep his head. I'll make you an offer you can't resist. Sneep. Big Mac is out of here. Make that stud a gilding. Okay. I just scored 2 Shining Fates mini tins on Best Buy in stock for a total of 5 seconds. Holy Jesus, dude. Next up, we've got Andraz Ratej. He says, 5 Japanese team-up, please. All right, Mr. Andraz. How much to send all my cards to me right now? I'm Canadian. So you'll spend $14 for international shipping. And then if you also want it to be live shipping, I think it's like an additional $5. Is that what live shipping is now? Is it 5 or is it 6? I actually don't remember. Let me look. So live shipping is still $6. For you, it would be $5. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. James. Be sure you're done, though, because remember, once you spend that money on shipping, you'll have to order that much shipping the next time you order here. So sometimes it's, you know, if you feel like if you could wait a week and then you wanted to open up more a week later, sometimes it's better to hold your bag over here. James says, is this me? No, this is Andraz Ratej. You ready, Andraz? Here goes. Mr. Andraz, time to pull you a hyper rev. What do we pull? There's Moltres, Kaka, and a cold pack, and Snorlax Eevee. There it is. Man, we pull these good cards so much from Team Up. Cold, and finally, Blastoise. Blastoise, Moltres, Snorlax, and Eevee. Rand says remove MLP. MLP forever! Tosses over here. Mr. would buy PSA 7 first edition Lugia for $1,000. You're talking about the English version if you're talking about first edition, right? And my answer is maybe. I mean, he's a pretty solid card in my opinion, that Lugia. You could save up and try to go for a higher grade. Keep that in mind too, okay? Sometimes that's worth the wait. Next up, we've got... Oh, well, let's put Andraz's cards away first. Congratulations, Andraz, on your nice pulls. Okay. Hard to go wrong with that Lugia. You could just buy that Lugia all day, I guess. Okay. James says 10 Sun and Moon team up. Where's my team up boxes? Okay. Mike says I'm telling you I'd sell mine to you. Oh, you're trying to sell me one. If you're trying to sell me a card, you should contact me on Discord. And by the way, guys, I do buy cards. I buy them all the time. So people will make me an offer. They'll be like, hey, I want to cash out some of my cards real fast. Maybe it's the case eBay won't let you sell them, or maybe you don't have an eBay account. You just want to sell them fast. I'm a very good way to get your cards sold. However, just keep in mind, unless I'm collecting it, I often ask for a price where I can resell it and still, you know, have that be worth my time. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweet. Good luck, Mr. James. 10 Sun and Moon team up. Buy my PSA 9 Charizard. Okay. Sneep. Sneep. Very cool. You ready? Here goes. Cold. Dragonite. You got Dragonite. Cold. Here's Electrode. Come on, Charizard. We want the Charizard holo. Cold. All right, we're about halfway through. Let's see. Let's see. No. Oh, there we go. So this will always be a hit in this box. You got the Charizard holo. Very nice. If we can get a GX or a full art, that would be nice. So this has got to be a hit. Oh! Oh! You got the Erica full art. Mr. James, congratulations. Woohoo! Which James is this? This is James O'Brien. It's you, mister. It's you. That's the James. Erica full art. Just another reason to be opening up those team-ups. Looks like Screwy has rabies. That's right. Better look out for rabies. Mr. James O'Brien, where did we put your bag last? I don't know. Oh, no, that's different James. That's James Gower. I think James Gower was the one who was asking about shipping. Jesse, Kyle, James. You remember where we put your bag last? I don't remember where we put your bag last. Okay, I didn't see in there. How about in here? James says, I need a bag. You got it, James. Sweet. Look how lovely. She's like, these are the cherry spring blossoms. By Monero. In the bag, Poppy. He needs a bag. I put in PayPal that I need a bag. I'm sorry, James. I'm just kind of slow sometimes. James O'Brien. Thank you, James. And congratulations on your hot polls. Okay. After James, we have Ryan Blanton. Ryan says 5 Japanese team-ups. Oh, Mr. Ryan. Off by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's see what you pull anyways, Mr. Ryan. Probably the good ones, right? Mr. I'm very new into Pokemon. What would you say is the most valuable Pokemon card ever made? Well, some people argue it's the Pikachu Illustrator card, which looks kind of like this. This is a metal version of it. It's like a kid's toy. What do I call this? This is like a replica. There we go. So, and you can buy that from me for $8 if you're interested in a metal card. But I don't think you're interested in buying a metal card. I think you were just asking about in the history of Pokemon cards. Teach me some history lessons. So yeah, some people think it's the Illustrator card. For me personally, is actually the first edition Charizard from the base set. I don't really care about the trophy cards too much. They're cool. But I mean, it's a trainer card, you know, in the end. It's got a great story, but it's a trainer card. So my favorite is always going to be that first edition base set Charizard. And especially one that's like a true 10, not like a PSA 10. PSA 10s are often like not that good. but like a strong 10, you know. And I believe King Pokemon, Gary from Pawn Stars, he has a BGS 10, doesn't he? So that's probably the best card that I can think of. Here's Erica. So you pull Snorlax, very good. Erica, here's Articuno. And a cold one. Is there Powderpuff Girls cards, mister? Potentially. Like Powerpuff Girls? Okay, we'll toss it over there. So that's for Mr. Ryan Blanton. All right, nice job, Ryan, picking up the Snorlax GX card. Any updates on your end with TCC grading? Yeah, actually, I've been doing a lot of research, and so my first step is I need to buy a $9,000 sonic welder. The next step is I need to get slabs. So I'm having trouble with the slabs. Well, it depends. So I can go with different materials, and some materials are like tougher. And so I can keep shopping around until I can find a manufacturer that offers that tougher material, or I can settle for just like the cheaper plastic material, which I believe is what PSA is using. I think they're using the cheaper plastic material. I think it's CGC using the tougher, higher quality material, but I can't find a manufacturer for that. So, I mean, it's not too complicated. I just haven't started spending money on it, to be honest. And I think what I'd like to do is save up a little bit of money too as well. So right now I need to just sell for a while and then acquire all the equipment. And I still haven't figured out how are these damn labels made. The labels are a complicated part of it, and I just don't understand them. The technology side for like having a website and all that, that'll probably be done last. And it's the part I'm least concerned about because my wife and I both know how to work on that kind of stuff. Okay, so after Ryan Blanton, we have John Gamia. Hello, John. He says, can I get one Sun and Moon base set? Okay, one Sun and Moon base set. And one Ultra Prism. Okay, one Ultra Prism. He says, can you also check if I should CGC grade my Japanese rainbow waifu card? John! You think it's so easy, John. Sneep. All right, let's see what you got. Boop, 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 boop. We got, Cosmoem and, oops. Cosmoem and Makuhita. Sorry, mister, nothing crazy coming out of those packs. It was just 2 packs, though. So that's not a surprise. Let's grab your bag. You say you got Rainbow Waifu, and that you want me to tell you whether she's any good. Let's go find the card that we're talking about. Pikachu. Do I really need to do this? All right. Gonna have to go digging for it. You ready? This is it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, Japanese waifu card. I'm looking at it. Looking thicker on the left side of the card, for my opinion. Are you buying during the Poké Dip? I'm always buying. So even when it goes up or down, doesn't matter. All right, let's see. You know, I'm looking at it and it's not that bad. But I think it is thicker on one side. There's a way to tell. Alex is like, the Poké Dip? You know, the Pokemon card market has crashed, mister. Sell all your Pokies, quick! They're actually quite close. Yeah, I definitely send this in. We're looking for any other flaws. I'd send it in either way. If it gets a 9.5, which is like a gem mint, you're still doing fine with 9.5. So that's kind of a worst case scenario for this card, is it just gets 9.5. Okay, there you go. Emmanuel Panetta says, Mr., how's it going? 5 unified months. You got it, Mr. Emmanuel Panetta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Welcome back, Mr. Emmanuel. Roxa says, thank you, mister. No problem. Dude, I wish I could, like, turn off the live stream and then go grade some cards. That would be amazing. Sneep. All right. Here goes. Lapras. Pack number 2. Oh! Hyper Rare Rowlet Alone Executor. Congratulations, you pulled a Hyper Rare. Here's Carablast. Mr. Don't want to be opening cards. Oh, that's not what I meant. What I mean is, how cool would it be if after our daily live stream, I could take your best pulls that we pulled in the live stream and then go totally encapsulate them for you. You know what I mean? That'd be cool as hell. So here's Excadrill. Ooh. Like, imagine this. You pull the Rowlet, and then you say, I want live grading on that. And then we'll sit down together, and we'll look over the card, and we'll say something like, well, on this surface, it's got a tiny, tiny flaw right there in the lines. And we would say the bottom's thinner. Ooh. Flip it over. The edges look really good. No serration, no white dots. And then we would probably determine that this card is also slightly thicker on the top, just like on the front. And we would call that one, what do you guys think that one should grade? I'll ask your guys' opinion. Will you be more strict than CGC? Oh, definitely not. I don't see it as like a strictness thing. With CGC, it's about accuracy. That's what it is. So a lot of people, look at that. So everyone kind of comes up with their own grade. It's about accuracy. So we want to talk about the real problems with the card. You know what I mean? So this being thicker here than here is an actual problem. We could write that down on a list and say it's imperfect. And, you know, but it's very close, right? And the fact that the edges look so clean and the edges look so clean, there's no serration anywhere on the edges, is very close. But off-centering will take a small bit off of it. It couldn't be perfect. Could it be pristine? I would say it couldn't be pristine. So it would fall into the gem mint category probably, and possibly beneath gem mint. So it would probably be like a 9. All right, we'll go ahead and sleeve it up. What if Mr. just stopped opening actual cards, but instead sold digital art of him opening packs like NBA Top Shot? The future. Invest! I know, right? Here I am opening booster packs. Here's a picture of me. You don't want to miss out on the NF, what are they called? The non-fungible tokens? NFT hype train, do you? You could get rich. What could go wrong? Here we go. Mr. Emmanuel. I think that I'm really glad that the majority of my money is in collectibles, because the nice thing about collectibles is they are real. They're not like this digital stuff that all the crypto's about. They're totally real. They exist, and they just look so nice. I'm never really going to worry about how nice these cards are because they look great, and I think that's going to be a selling point for them. So they're always going to hold a certain amount of value just because they look nice. So like I know with this Sylveon, there probably was just one of these in a box. And so you could probably suggest, well, the minimum value of a Sylveon could be the cost of one Guardian's Rising box. But it's really much more than that, because you have to consider, what are the odds you pull a 10? Well, what if it's 50-50? Well, now it's 2 boxes. And then finally, what are the odds you pull Sylveon versus one of the other Pokemon? Well, that's a little bit of a harder equation, because some of those other Pokemon are worth about as much as a Sylveon, and some of them are worth much less than a Sylveon. So that's another math equation. And it turns out the Sylveon, just in terms of how much it would cost you retail to pull one and grade one yourself, is quite expensive. And so because of that, when I show this off and I'm like, here it is, already graded, already pulled, looks great, I know it's going to be holding some of that value that way. And I guess things could change if people didn't like Pokemon anymore. That's the biggest risk. I don't think it's going to change, though. I just don't see the competitor for Pokemon. I don't see it. And I don't see people saying, you know what, I'm done playing video games. I don't like video game stuff. I don't see that happening either. Mr. Pokemon are down slightly, but I'm not worried long term. Most people aren't worried. Bitcoin literally halved. People are panicked. There's way less confidence that it rebounds. Maybe it does rebound someday, the crypto, but I don't know how I feel about crypto these days. I feel like the one thing I know crypto does really well, definitely criminal activity. Crypto has got the market cornered on criminal activity. If you want to do something illegal and you don't want the government to be able to stop you, maybe do it in crypto. Although even that's arguable because you're using some sort of platform to move the crypto back and forth. So unless you're real tech savvy and you can use something that the government has no way to track you on, then even that might be. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is for the majority of users, that's not how they're going to be using crypto. Those are just going to be a few really tech savvy guys doing something illegal. Like if you wanted to buy a sex slave in some country where anything goes, right? Great. Well, how are you going to pay for that? Well, probably with an untraceable currency. Hey, you want to do some child trafficking, right? Well, maybe you do that in crypto. But the NFTs, I just don't see it as much. I don't really see what the point of the NFTs are. Then after NFTs, I don't really know what exactly you do with crypto that's so innovative and amazing that you wouldn't just do it with the regular currency. All right, let's see. We're refreshing the list. We've talked about this subject so many times. It's a great subject, though. So, John Gamia, Emmanuel Panetta, Dan Newman. He says 4 more packs of hoops. Bags on the table. All right. Good luck. Let's get those hoops going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. hates crypto after the loss. LMFAO. Now, Mr. Earth Savior, the reality is I was actually talking pretty negatively about crypto the very first day I spoke about it. And anyone who's been following me for a while knows that I've been a critic pretty much the whole time. In fact, I said the only reason I was buying crypto was because I felt that it was a Ponzi scheme, but that you might actually be able to make money within the Ponzi scheme. And I probably should have taken my own advice and not bought so much. I probably should have bought a smaller amount of it than I did. But, also, I guess it's a learning moment for me. Look at this. Is Shy? Hassan, Devin Booker, Leandro, and Tyrell. According to the UN, it is estimated that between 2 and 5% of global GDP is connected with money laundering and illicit activity. If you can't sell the crypto, what's the point then? Bitcoin is less than 1%. Well, so anyways, the only reason I was buying it is because I wanted to say that I had some and that I gave it a shot, and I wasn't just trying to be biased against it. And also, again, I did actually believe if simply enough people bought into the idea that it's really good, it could go up. Anything could. Dennis, Reggie, is it Reggie? Reggie, RJ, and Nick Richards. Wow, look at these amazing basketball players. Boop. I have no doubt that the cryptocurrencies will maybe recover or somewhat, maybe slowly, maybe quickly, I don't know. There'll probably be another bull run. I don't think I'll be involved with it. If I had taken all of that same money that I had in crypto and just bought Pokemon cards, I'd actually be fine. Pokemon cards do extremely well. Oh, because people keep opening them. People keep opening Pokemon cards. So like if you did nothing but park all your money into, let's say, base set booster packs, which those are quite expensive, but they're still out there, right? There's still some out there. If you did nothing but park your money in that and then come back a year later, you'll see the price of those packs have gone up even further because there's fewer left. People just keep opening them, and there's a finite number of them, right? So a finite resource, and people keep taking it off the market. But no, I bought Bitcoin, and I don't feel like it's as simple as calling it a complete scam and, oh, it's terrible. I don't think it's like that. But I do think it's probably overpriced. What's this? Uh, oh, Garrison Matthews signature card. Congratulations. Ooh. How's that, guys? Garrison Matthews. Big hit. We also have Zion Williamson. GJM says, what? And Kyra Lewis and Precious. He says, snippet. I don't know about that. Who was that for? That was for Dan Newman. Congratulations, Dan. Eddie says, is it numbered? No. Not like that other card was, you know, like numbered here. You got in at the top. If you were patient and waited for the... No, I didn't really get in at the top. Actually, I bought in at about 3,000 on Ethereum, and it jumped all the way up to 4.4, right? So if I had sold at 4.4, it would have been like the opposite. I would have like made 8,000. So but instead, because I was greedy, I watched it start to fall, and I'm like, it's fine. And then it just kept falling and falling and falling. I bought the dip, and then it kept falling and falling and falling. So it was my own greed. And that's exactly how Ponzi schemes work. The funny thing about Ponzi schemes is you have to get out of them at some point because they eventually end. And I didn't think it was over, and it was for a while. But and now maybe it's bottoming out. I don't know. But it's not really based on anything, in my opinion. Where's the value of the cryptocurrency other than the capital gains from the inflation of the cost of, well, inflation is not the right word, but sort of is the right word because of all the money printing, right? But what's the value of it other than just everyone pouring their money into it, all hoping the same thing, that it will go up? But once it's up there, what holds it up there? There's nothing up there to hold it. There's no like dividends or anything. Nobody even knows who's like using it. Ponzi scheme is the worst comparison, mister. So for those of you who don't know what a Ponzi scheme is like a financial product that you can buy, and that product is basically a fake product. There's nothing there. But what you do is you say, oh my gosh, my financial product is going up in price. You need to invest now or you're going to miss out. So people do invest. They put their money into it, and all of a sudden it looks more valuable because the whatever it is has appreciated in value because people bought in. And that's your whole selling point. That's basically your only selling point in a Ponzi scheme. You say, see, the price just keeps going up, but there's no actual product. What's the product? All right, Dan Newman, let's find your bag. So I don't actually think it's that bad of a comparison. How many NFL packs were bought, mister? A few of them, actually. Actually, I think one of the guys says he changed his mind because it's a bit expensive for him. Kobe card sold for over $3 million today. Whoa, crazy. There you go, Mr. Dan. You got a very thick bag. All right, actually, I need to correct this. So here it is. And Mr. Jared says he'd like to change his mind. So we've got 3 of the packs sold off. The value of the crypto is in the white paper where it says what the crypto is about and going to do fix in the real world. People believe in the project because it has real world use, so it has value. But what is actually the value of Bitcoin? What does it actually do? Is it that it's decentralized? But it's not decentralized. So it appears to be decentralized, but actually there's developers who affect how it gets used. So this is like the people who actually operate the platforms. Like Coinbase, they charge you a fee every time you use it. There's the government, they tax the hell out of it. And then you have other governments that can say you're not even allowed to use it. So how decentralized is it if it's sort of like in a de facto way not decentralized at all? The government has control of it. Oh, no, I can use crypto behind the government's back. If the government ever really passed a law that said you will be thrown in jail for using it, well, now every time you use it, you got to worry about the FBI coming after you. You see what I'm saying? Next up, we got Jeremy Tierney. He says, Mister, it's been quite a while. What's up, Jet? He says, why are some of the basketball cards upside down? I don't know, actually. So he says, it's been quite a while since I've been watching the stream. I saw on TikTok that you moved. The new house looks awesome. Anyways, I'll have 5 Shining Fates. That's right, mister. I moved, and my sexy wife and I were swimming the last 2 days like crazy in the nice, beautiful sun. So 5 sun and moon, I'm sorry, 5 shiny star. What was the next part? 5 sun and moon base. There we go. Mister, it's all nonsense to convince you to buy their currently owned so their currently owned Bitcoin goes up in value. Ponzi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was true in some cases. Somebody's bought in maybe millions of dollars, and now it's their job to pump it, like BitConnect. BitConnect! Where'd BitConnect go? It was, it was exactly what you think it was. It was a scam. And I think what you're doing, though, is you're saying there's a conflict of interest in the people pumping Bitcoin. But that would be true if you said it backwards, like, well, the Cardconomist only says Pokemon cards are good because he owns a lot. But that's not true. I actually own a lot of cards because I personally like them. So I will say the same is probably true for a lot of Bitcoin guys. They probably like Bitcoin, and they're also going to, try and convince you to like it the way they like it. So each of us should present a really rational argument as to why it's likable. And I'm just not that convinced. I'm not that convinced. I saw an H3 video on BitConnect. I know, right? Bitcoin can be decentralized. If you use MetaMask, which is not connected to a phone number or email, it is decentralized. You are able to send person to person anonymously. Right, you're allowed to do that as long as the government doesn't find out you've done that. So what I was trying to say is that if the government really outlawed cryptocurrency like Bitcoin for criminal purposes, now you're going to be wondering if the IT department of the FBI is going to actually catch you doing what you're saying, that, hey, I can use these tricks to. Well, when it comes to software, you can always try to avoid detection for a while, but somebody who really wants to find you can eventually find you unless you've hired a team of people to keep you hidden. You know what I mean? And for the majority of people who might be interested in crypto, you don't have the resources for that or the reason for that. The people who really do have both a good use for that and the resources is somebody doing something very illegal. So 5 Sun and Moon base and 10 Jet Black Spirit. You want Jet Black Spirit, mister? Only my mom can find me. That's right. You got 4 packs. 4 packs. Like the people who hacked the pipeline or whatever the other day, right? Didn't they want to be paid in crypto? I don't remember if that part's true. Somebody remind me if that's true. All right, here we are. Mister, please read my message. Can you find my order? Yes. But not until I'm done with these orders, okay? Is it an urgent message? If it's urgent, let me know. Earth says they did get paid in crypto. Well, there you go. So this means that there is a use for cryptocurrencies. Criminal activity, for example. That's not a very good reason to invest in something, because you're hedging your future of your money on people continuing that criminal activity, basically. All right, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's recount it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you keep your crypto payments in crypto, or do you cash out? That's a good question. Money is used for illegal activities every day, says Sayun-T. True. But so why didn't they accept PayPal, this criminal group that did the hacking? Why didn't they just do it with PayPal? Oh, because that's actually pretty much impossible for them. So to say, okay, there's some criminal activity that's been done on the streets with drugs, it has no comparison to what just happened with this hacking, right? So you can't dismiss that people are using crypto for illegal activities just because somebody else bought crack with the dollar bills. Do you understand? All right. Wait, where were we? We were on Jeremy. Here we go. Jeremy Tierney. He wants 10 Jet Black Spirit and 1 MLP. You got it, mister. 1 My Little Pony. Am I out of My Little Pony? Here it is. Now, what do you mean by 1? It's 5 for, Mr. Jeremy, do you mean 1 round? Because I only sell it as 1 round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He says, because it's decentralized. Because crypto is good for not being traded because it's decentralized. Jet says, oh, here you go, Jet. We'll do 1 pack for you. All right, here we go. Let's get started. So my argument on the decentralization wasn't that it was decentralized. My argument was that it's decentralized for criminals, but for the everyday user, it's not really going to help that it's decentralized unless you're trying to do all the same work that a criminal is doing. Do you see? In other words, you're trying to be so tech savvy that you're going to mask yourself so that you can buy a pizza maybe? Ha, now the government will never catch me buying this pizza. Well, people who are just transacting normal transactions don't want to go through all the trouble and pay for all the resources necessary to hide their transactions. So really only somebody who needs to hide their transactions would want to have a decentralized currency. And who is it that needs to hide their transactions? And that's something you should think about. It is just criminals. All right, Snape. Snape. Give him 4. Give him 4 more. So in other words, I'm not going to go through all the trouble of hiding my cryptocurrency purchases and transactions from the government because I'm not doing anything illegal. It helps that it's not devalued when a central bank inflates it. Yeah, and that's the gold argument. The argument here is that cryptocurrency is this equivalent to gold. And I don't find that's true either. A lot of the arguments around cryptocurrencies being like gold have to do with people viewing it as a store of value. I don't think that you could call Bitcoin a store of value when it loses more than 50% of its value in like, a few days, a week. I would say gold has a better record for being a store of value, but I would argue maybe not even gold would be a good store of value these days either. Because really, with both Bitcoin and gold, in a real crash, the government could confiscate it either way. So when you're talking about a crash, you're talking about a certain type of crash where we recover and it's not a big deal. And in that case, I would suggest, rather than buying gold and rather than buying Bitcoin, you should still actually consider holding cash and waiting for the market to tank and then buying stock. I know that sounds super counterintuitive. That's actually what Warren Buffett does, by the way. He holds all the time, he holds a large chunk of cash for something to go wrong. The other thing you can do with hyperinflation is actually park that money into a home or, some commodity other than Bitcoin. The idea that Bitcoin's going to outperform the other commodities has not been proven in an actual crash. And again, we just had Bitcoin lose. Double Gengars. Mister, I'm seeing double. Mister, he wants the other 4 packs. Mister, he wants the other 4 packs. Mister, he paid for 5. Sounds good. Look at this. It's Blissy. Mister, I paid for the other 4 packs, so I'll open them. Sounds good. I love when you call me Big Mister. Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. Oh, no. Let's see. What do we got? Cold. Cold. Okay, so that was that really 10? That was 10 packs of Jet Black and you pulled 1 Blissy? I don't know, mister. That seems pretty sus. You got 2 Gengars, though. That's really nice. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and throw in a bonus. Well, before we throw in a bonus, let's see what other pulls you have. Make sure you don't pull a Super Fire over here, because it'll balance out if you do. So there's Potion. Here's Solgaleo. All right. Solgaleo. Spearow. That's the best one. Grubbin. And, oh! Umbreon Full Art, and it looks perfectly centered. There we go. So you don't need a pity pull. You're doing very well, actually. Earth says, the crash on crypto is crazy. He says, you could have just cashed out when you were up, mister. I took a loss as well, but I'm back to making gains. Well, you didn't really say anything there, Earth. All you're saying is, oh, man, you should have just sold before the Ponzi scheme collapsed, and then you wouldn't have hated the Ponzi scheme. You got to present some sort of rational argument for why crypto is a better investment than, let's say, a different investment. What do we got here? We got Volcanion. Earth is about to pay off his eviction's debt. We've got Decidui. Oh my. And Double. Look at this, mister. Can you get Shining Legends? And finally, Delmise, the card we all secretly wish we had all the time. Hey, what happened to My Little Pony pack? I thought I put that up on the table. Did I not? Okay, let me get 4 more My Little Pony packs. I was ranting so much. Mister, what do you think is the best thing to do with code cards? 1, 2, 3, 4. I would take the code cards and give them all to the iPad kids. The tablet kids. Here goes. Sneep. And sneep. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and toss this in the trash. You ready? Time for the hot ones. So we're looking for holo cards. Those are the actual pulls here. There's a lot of bulk, and the bulk doesn't really have any value, but this might have value. Who's this? Gyro Point Dexter. Oh, no. They didn't. They made a nerd. Oh, no. Mister, what is this title? I know, it's the best title. What do we have here? Let's get this party started. Okay. And last pack. You ready? All right. So you pull 2 holos, mister. There's a strong theory that the rich in Bitcoin are selling to scare off people of lower wealth to sell their Bitcoin so that they can buy back in at a lower price. Yeah, so you're referring to market manipulation, and it's quite possible that that's what's going on, or maybe people correctly realized that they have no idea why they are holding Bitcoin and Ethereum. They don't use Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum cost more to use than the dollar bill when it comes to transactions, and when you see a headline like, oh, China banning mining, you realize that could happen in any other government, including our own government. You rely on the people around you to vote to keep Bitcoin protected from our U.S. government. Do you really trust others to vote in a way that would make sense financially? And I would answer absolutely not. I don't trust the average U.S. voter to understand what's going on. Okay, Mr. Jet, with the J, huh? Do you already have a bag? He says, I need a new bag. Welcome back. China's banned crypto before, haha, and accepted again. Right, and that's why the people who believe in the conspiracy that, oh, it's just one big manipulation, the markets have been manipulated, they'll make a claim like China's just saying that to get the market to crash so it can buy more or something like that. So you could believe all the conspiracies you want, but what I haven't heard is a reason why cryptocurrency is so valuable. I've just heard the typical sort of talking points like it's decentralized or it's a store of value. And again, I'm not really convinced how a unique number on the internet is a store of value for anything. It's just a unique number on the internet. Still not convinced, sadly. Jeremy, we're full. I don't know where to put your bag. The J box is full. Maybe I can put you in the G box. Jeremy, you're going to the G box, okay? Your name's now Jeremy with the G. You have to remind me of that, okay, Jeremy? Alex, PSX, he says, Mister, live ship my bags and trinkets. I got the light and the ring as same size as yours, I guess. Also, don't forget to add the slab I bought from Cheese. The Toga Kiss you smooched. Also, the signed frame. Also, here's the new address. Oh man, that is a big order. You got sunburn today. What are you doing, Eddie Petty? That's going to be skin cancer in like a week. I'm just kidding. Alex PSX. Live shipping. Read. Read PayPal. It's a very distinct package to ship. And so there's going to be a lot of extra work there. So we're going to have to save this for after the live stream, mister. Pokies is definitely a better investment as of now, how you view it. Well, I think that baseball cards have proven themselves over a very long period of time, multi-generational period of time, to be something you can invest in and expect to sell later. And I think that Pokemon's a bit more speculative because it's kind of like the new kid on the block. This might be the first thing since sports that people are putting serious money into. But it makes a lot of sense because video games came out in the 1980s, basically, right? So, I mean, serious video games did. And so it kind of makes sense. Eventually, video game cards are going to start to be a thing. And Pokemon might be the first one. So I think that card collecting is still speculative, but I think it's a whole heck of a lot less speculative than cryptocurrency. How many cryptocurrencies are there now? There's like 10,000 cryptos, right? And what makes Bitcoin so good? It's the oldest one. I mean, when it comes to technology, being the oldest one is actually typically not the best thing. That's when you start hearing about stuff like proof of stake, and you're like, well, can't Bitcoin do that? And it's like, no, it's an older technology. So that was, again, another one of my serious criticisms of cryptocurrency. I said I always stayed away from it because having been in school for technology, I'm scared of change. And I don't want to park my money in something that can become obsolete. Do you understand? So the brand Bitcoin is doing very well. You're buying a brand. But what about the actual machine or the actual software, Bitcoin? Why is it better than these 10,000 other currencies that have been just made up out of thin air? And why aren't they as valuable as Bitcoin? Is it just because you didn't hear their name first? I mean, that's terrible. All right, let's see. Jesse Sajquim says, hello, Mr. 7 Japanese team-ups. Japanese team-ups? Oh, mister, you said the magic words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what we got. Mr. Sneep. The thing is, I don't even hate crypto. I don't hate it. I just, I feel like I trust collector's items a lot better. Here goes. I don't even hate crypto. You missed the GX cards because we're in the V era now. Well, you should open Sun and Moon, mister. The GX cards are here still. Glad you're still doing YouTube after you stopped on your Monster Hunter World Chapnail. Yeah, I've taken a break from Monster Hunter World, but you know, Elden Ring's being worked on, and I could get hooked on that. You never know. When I get hooked on a game, I start to play it for 8 hours, 12 hours a day, and that's when I'm prepared to make, and I've got all the skills to make content for whatever I want to make. Oh, mister, what is this? That's Brock's grid, I think. Take a look at that. Damn, that's a cool artwork for Brock. They did him justice there. Ooh. Good thing you bought those last 2 packs, right? He came in the last pack. So if you'd bought a round of 5, you would have missed him by 2 packs. You bought exactly 7, and 7 was the exact right number. VeChain is a crypto used to track produced goods and has nothing to do with transactions between people. Brock's Girth, that's right. So Jesse Sajquim, Mr. Jesse. Did Ash die? Why doesn't he have cards? Here we are. Brock's Simp. Better to buy Pokies or just buy graded cards. You know, that's always in balance. What you just said is typically in balance. So the price of the slabs and the price of the booster packs are typically sort of bouncing off of each other. Neither one, the pendulum for the price swings both ways, but it always kind of comes back. So what I'm trying to say is if this card gets really expensive, this slab, the booster packs will go up in price as people attempt to pull him. Meanwhile, it goes the other way too. If the price of the base set Sun and Moon booster box goes up really high, people will say, oh shit, I wonder what the price of the slabs are. And then they'll run off and grab the slabs because they expect the slabs to go up to match the price of the box. So if you like the graded slabs, buy them. If you like the graded product, buy them. But I will say this, I think graded product is a little bit better for people who are taking, I think that the sealed product is good if, well, it's hard to say, actually. No, I don't want to add any commentary in that way. I was going to say that certain buyers might be better off with sealed product than others, but I don't think that's true when I think about it a little longer. So yeah, you can just buy whichever one you want. I will mention this. The slabs are a little more fun, and another problem you run into with the sealed product is that you could be buying resealed product if you're talking about really expensive booster packs, okay? So the booster packs probably do reach a price point where people start to scam. Whereas with this is authenticated already. So it's got the PSA label, make sure it looks just like this, right? Make sure it has their technology on it, their little sticker and all that. So with this, you know that you're getting the authenticated card and it's the real deal. With the sealed product, if you try to invest in that, you could end up buying resealed products, something that's been scammed or fake. So, because PSA doesn't actually, I mean, you could buy you could buy a graded booster pack, and that's something that you guys are going to see. I'm going to be receiving a graded booster pack on Monday. You guys got to return for the live stream because it's going to be so cool when it arrives. Or follow me on TikTok because once it arrives, I'm probably going to show it off on TikTok right away. I've got a sealed product. It's a booster pack. It's a $13,000 booster pack. It's arriving tomorrow, I believe. And I just got it. PSA finished grading it, and it should be arriving tomorrow. So I'll be showing that off, and that's just another thing you can put your money into. So a graded booster pack versus a raw booster pack versus a graded slab. So all those are options. All right, let's see. Jonas says 5 Japanese team-ups. Also, would you be interested in a trade for my PSA 10 Full Art Cosmic Eclipse Pikachu for the PSA 10 Tag Team Charizard? I have a bag. PSA 10 Tag Team Charizard. I would definitely be open-minded to that. I made a foolish mistake and actually sold my PSA 10 Pikachu to CS Men. I should have held it. So I would be open-minded to that if we looked it over a little more. Mister, what are some undervalued Pokemon cards that you see going up in value? Well, that's a good question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think something that is really smart right now are these Japanese cards, which are kind of like, they're much cheaper than the English ones right now, but they could be as expensive. Let me put it like this. The Japanese cards always sell for less than the English cards. They do. However, they do follow the price of the English cards. So if in Tag Team, you got Pikachu Zekrom, right? Let's say he's $1,000 in English, and therefore he's like $400 in Japanese. Well, if it goes up to $2,000 in English, it will kind of do that in Japanese as well. It will go from 400 to 800. It will double. So you could actually open these, enjoy the artwork, and still see the value of the card rise at roughly the same rate, even if the buy-in point was lower. So right now, I'm really enjoying the Japanese version of many of my favorite English cards. And that's something I've been into for a while. And actually, I like that with these team-up booster packs and the Lost Thunder booster packs. The Lost Thunder booster packs will allow you to pull Lugia and Suicune very easily. And these team-up packs are awesome. They give you Charizard, they give you Blastoise, they give you Pikachu Zekrom, Snorlax Eevee, and Gengar Mimikyu. They're really, really nice. That's cold. So this is for Jonas. What's up, Jonas? And Jonas pulls Latios Latios. Just another card that's really good in this set, this Japanese set. Here's Gyarados, looking really good. Can't go wrong with the good-looking Gyarados. Cold and Blastoise. Nice. Hollow Blastoise. All right. That was for Jonas. He says, I have a bag and a bulk box. Mr. Jonas, you want some bulk? Here you go, Jonas. Thanks for popping in again, man. Now I just gotta find your bag. Better to buy PSA cards or CGC? CGC, to the moon. To the moon. I'm a larger fan of CGC. It's not that you can't find a really well graded card with PSA. For example, with a PSA graded card, that it might be a perfect card. Somewhere out there is a PSA graded card that is technically perfect, is technically black label or perfect 10, right? But PSA doesn't make that distinction. So you could get really lucky with the PSA card and get like a strong 10 that turns out to be perfect. You just don't know. However, the other problem with PSA grading is that they let all kinds of low quality cards slip in as 10s too. And you're more likely to run into those because I've kind of learned what people tend to sell on the market are the weak 10s. They go through their collection and they go, wow, this looks like crap. And then they sell it on eBay to you and me. And then you and I buy their crappy, bad looking 10. So that's something I've been trying to raise a lot of awareness about so people understand that more. And PSA has really fallen out of favor with me because of that. I wish that they would, they need to do what CGC has done. They need to give in, create the pristine grade, create the perfect grade. It was a good innovation that CGC did for their grading that PSA is not following. And it's their mistake not to follow it. It was a good idea when Beckett released the black label. Okay, let's refresh. The Beckett black label. So fancy. Fancy Nancy, man. Okay, let's see. PSA cards move like crazy, though lol TCC, and you know it. They do, but the truth is part of that is because there's so many of them, and people are trying to get rid of them. Okay, so if you're saying they move, it's because people are dumping them into the market, and there's many for sale. There's not as many CGC graded cards, and if you actually went looking for pristine 10s from CGC, you would find that there's not that much variety of them. First of all, because they're harder to grade, but second of all, because I think a lot of people are buying them knowing that they're underpriced, and then they're like me as well, buying them and holding them rather than selling them. So if you see a lot of PSA cards for sale, it's because people are getting rid of those PSA slabs rather than holding them. And you should ask yourself, why didn't they choose to hold them? All right, let's see. Adam Vincent says, one Silverland Snipe? All right, the Silverland Snipe, huh? I bought a PSA 7 off eBay for 13 and it sold for 60 mid-bubble. People are still really obsessed with PSA slabs, though. Sneep, well, I would call them people who are, well, you know, I still buy PSA slabs, but it has to be really good. You know, but that's the problem with PSA slabs is you can't tell how good they are until they arrive, really. What do we got here? Gardevoir. This is for Adam Vincent. All right, Mr. Adam, one hollow. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of PSA slabs at all anymore. The problem with PSA slabs is you don't know what you're buying. The whole point of the grade was to know what you were buying. And for a while, I thought, wow, PSA did such a good job at this. Time has gone by, and I've come to the realization PSA is not all that they're cracked up to be. The paradigm shift is happening. CGC is gaining market share on PSA fast. Many people agree with Mr. and are having the same epiphanies. Right. Well, and the Gem Mint grade can stay around. The problem for PSA is this is their top grade. Gem Mint is their top grade, and they actually allow it to be off-center in the front. Like, what the you know what I mean? Like, how can you have a card that's off-center, visibly off-center in the front, and give it your highest grade. It makes no sense. Like, what's the point of grading then? You know, when you get a score wrong on your math test, you don't get A plus on your math test. You get B. You know, if you get two of them wrong, you get B. But if you've got, or should I say, your grade isn't 100, your grade is 95. Your grade isn't 100, your grade is 98, 97. But PSA doesn't do that. Oh, you got some wrong, still a 10. You know what I mean? It's like, that's goofy. It defeats the purpose of the grading. And you could scratch that down as a difference in grading philosophy. And I guess at that point, I'm supposed to present the argument that's a better argument. But it's so uncomplicated. Like, people want to know when the card is technically perfect. And people want to know when the card is off center in the front. That's very relevant if a card is off center in the front. So PSA allowing off centered in the front cards to grade 10, it's just silly that you would think that that's the top grade for a card, because there's so many of them out there that really are well centered. You know what I mean? And, you know, you get this huge population of 10s. The idea of a 10 is kind of sort of washed away. It's not so valuable anymore. When you allow a lot of bad cards to grade 10, the idea of a 10 kind of gets thrown out. Okay, so Jonas Rosado, Adam Vinson, Emmanuel Panada. He says, for Shining Face. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we need some more Shining Fates, I think. All right, give me a minute. I'll go looking. PSA never states that 10s being perfect. They just consider it a 10 on their scale. Yeah, but I mean, think about it for a minute. 10 out of what, 11? They don't say that. And 10's their highest grade. So what they're really saying is 10 out of 10. And 10 out of 10 sounds a lot like 100 out of 100, correct? So I just think that the reason people buy a 10 is because you and I want to buy a perfect card. That's what we're looking for. BGS was correct to realize that there are perfect cards out there. That's where the black label came from. So, and did people want the black label? Heck yeah. Whenever a card actually grades black label, people actually shell out thousands more dollars for that card. So the irony is you grade with PSA and some of your cards, maybe one or two undoubtedly, are black label, but PSA doesn't tell you, because that would be extra work and less profit for them if they had to figure out which cards were black label. And then at the same time, there are lower standards on the 10. It sounds good for the seller, but you know, increasingly buyers are going to wise up and realize, whoa, I'm being ripped off. The grading standards are low for a 10. Really, this should be called sub 10. It should be like a 9.8 or 9.7 or 9.5. But you know, when a card actually has visible flaws on one of the 4 primary grading groups, centers, corners, edges, surface, when it has visible flaws, how can you say that it's still going to receive the perfect grade when the flaw, I can see it with my bare eye? I don't even need a machine, because it's not that sophisticated. It's not rocket science, right? So, and that's the problem right now. All right, so give me a minute. I gotta go get more Shining Face. I think we gotta get a new case of them. Yeah. Oh man, we were actually nearly sold out of Shining Fates. Pretty crazy. Crazy times. All right, here we are. Great conversations tonight, by the way, guys. The moon isn't real. I knew it. It was a spying device. Get my tinfoil hat. Okay, we finally did it. 4 shining fates for Mr. Emmanuel. I almost feel like what PSA has going on is like the 10 satisfies people's OCD desire to get the perfect card. It satisfies it. But it kind of tells you a lie at the same time, you know. They're like, this card's off center. Oh, but everyone wants it to be 10. Okay, well then it is. And, you know, what I would have to say when I tell people, well, oh, look at this. It's the shiny Corviknight. We never pull this one. Oh, we got a message coming in. No message? Must have had a naughty word in it. Hold on. Happy belated birthday, Quip. Hope Mr. got spanked. I don't get spanked, Mister. That's why it got muted, because it said spanked. Thanks for the donation, by the way. All right, what do we got? Delmice. That's right. It's my wife's birthday. Boop. I forgot what I was talking about. I think I was talking about, you know, people badly want their imperfect cards to be considered 10. And so I think where I was going with it was I was going to say people don't like to hear the truth. You know, it's a hard to swallow pill to be told this card you pulled that cost you tons of money to open is technically flawed. It's mechanically, you know, manufactured. When it got manufactured, it wasn't cut well centered. It's hard for people to accept that. They don't want to digest that. They want to be told their card is perfect and that it's got tons of value. You know, that's what people want to hear. And PSA kind of gives into that. Their own customers want that, and they're satisfying their customers' needs. Real collectors should demand that grading companies are truthful about the manufacturing quality of their card. And if you think that doesn't matter, all that matters is, oh, get the 10 with PSA and sell it. That's all that matters. You might be right in the short term about that. You might be right that for a while, you can fool people with a poorly graded card. In the long run, really savvy collectors who want to pour millions of dollars into cards, they will expect a 10 to be an actual 10. They will expect a card that grades its high. Is that the cat? They will expect a card that grades its highest grade not to be like goofy off-centered on the front. You know what I mean? So, and that's very important for liquidity and for being able to invest tons of money. Why would you want to pour thousands and thousands of dollars into a card that is essentially a 9? A 9 with the 10 written over it. You know what I mean? That's a really big deal. And since I'm thinking about that stuff all the time, as somebody who does pour a lot of money into the cards and wants to see a well-established market in the future, to me, CGC represents a company that's actually doing that. And PSA is the company that people are still saying, oh, but they gave me a 10, therefore I can flip a quick buck. I mean, when you say that kind of stuff, you basically sound like a scalper, right? Because what you're doing is you're taking your garbage 10, selling it to someone for a profit, and then going, yay, I did it, right? But for me, getting actual 10s that's collecting. It's not about profits. It's about making sure that cards are graded properly. And PSA is supposed to be the authority on that. Instead, if you're telling me they're just the authority on flipping, I don't really care as much about flipping as I do about accurate grades. You know what I mean? So you sound like a scalper when you talk that way. Like, who cares? Just get that 10 and sell it to somebody. You know what I mean? It's like, I care. Of course I care. Jeremy Connell, he says, Mr. 4 Jet Blacks. Oh, man. The grade doesn't matter. All that matters is if it sells. But it does matter.
Answers kind, there is no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you'll find. I should have known.
What? Wait, what? Time can never mend the careless whisper of a good friend to the heart and mind. If the answer's kind, there's no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you'll find. I should have known better. Yeah, I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance. Mister, you onto something. Well, remember, hold on. Let me make sure we get this order right. So this is Jeremy Connell. You ready, Mr. Jeremy? Now you ordered 4 Jet Black and a round of My Little Pony. You got it. What a lot of people who are into collecting forget is that you're never going to dance again. They forget that all this money being poured into cards is being done either between 2 collectors or 2 investors. And the thing is, when you're trying to invest in a card, you want to invest in a card that is organically desired. There's an organic demand for it coming from real collectors. If you're just trying to flip some junky-ass card that got a grade it shouldn't have obtained, eventually somebody will find out that that card's not very valuable. So eventually somebody gets hurt, is my point. There is no demand for a misgraded 10, right? I've brought awareness to you now that there are 10s that look pretty bad, and that you could be the guy who unfortunately buys that off of like eBay or something. Well, so somebody gets hurt by that, because eventually nobody's going to offer to buy it anymore, not for the same price. And I'm myself am not buying cards in the past that I would have bought. So already that person selling that poorly graded 10 is not realizing, the profits or the trade they would have gone through if that card had just been properly graded. Please give advice to a new Pokemon card collector. Go after your favorite Pokemons, mister. But yeah, so the idea of organic demand for a card is very important. Very important. Organic demand for a card is very important. It can't just be investors selling to investors in the card market, because that will actually eventually collapse. That'll go away over time. My only qualm with the CGC is them not requiring subgrades on all their slabs and pricing that in from the get-go. Well, apparently the subgrades are very expensive to add. And actually, some of you might not know this, but BGS gives you the option to grade the cards for cheaper without the subgrade. So that's also possible. Sneap. And I've seen those on the market. I've seen the BGS cards graded with no subgrade. You ready? Here goes. Let's find some hollow ponies. I cannot believe it, but we've actually gone through 2 boxes of ponies. So all of the eBay CGC 9.5 cards that say PSA 10 are going to change to PSA 10s that say CGC Perfect 10? Wait, what? I don't understand your last question. I think he means are going to change to PSA 10s. And I would say yes. The CGC 10 or the CGC 9.5s are essentially PSA 10s. That's what they are. And that's why CGC calls them gem mint. That's what you'll notice. They're basically dabbing on PSA. They're saying PSA is kind of, their gem mint grade is kind of low quality. That's what CGC is trying to make a statement out of. Anti-applesauce. Oh man, she's got her dentures out. You know what that means, guys. It's time for the Gluck Gluck. And what do we have? All right, no hollow on that one. So you do walk away with 2 hollows coming out of your My Little Pony packs. Anti-applesauce and Professor Nay. Wow. But let's see. Can we pull a 9.5 out of this pile here? I might have one. You were asking about 9.5. Here's a 9.5. All right. So here it is. Let's look at the centering. Centering on the corners looks pretty good. The surface. This is packed fresh, by the way. I pulled this one and graded it myself. So, I mean, you almost cannot see a single flaw on this card anywhere. And it's still graded 9.5 with the CGC. The funny thing is, I think a lot of CGC 9.5s are actually higher, and I would say even much higher quality than a PSA 10. So you look at this, see the black line in the edge of the card, how well centered they are? They're just really well centered. Now let me show you something. Let me tell you something. Let's jump over here. And so this is just the card that I picked up. And let's compare these edges. So we zoom up here, and you can see right away the right side of the card. See the purple line and the edge? Thick, and then the top is thin. See that? And this graded higher than this. So explain that to me. How's this 9.5 and this is 10? Well, so they're exaggerating the differences. They have a higher standard with the CGC. They both claim to be gem mint. They're both saying gem mint. This one is actually off center, and PSA is saying it's a 10. What a joke. It's not a 10. And CGC is correctly calling it a 9.5. Now, one of the problems I have with the CGC is people are so used to the industry standard of PSA that they're not going to want the 9.5. So people either have to be convinced to accept 9.5, or I wonder if CGC would consider just turning this into a 10 and still calling it gem mint. You know what I mean? All right, so I'll toss this over here. Jeremy Connell. You got a bag, right? He says, I have a bag. Could have a 9 on the surface. Sure, but I actually looked for that for a long time and couldn't find it. Because when it returned, I was like, darn, I wanted this to be 10. I wanted it to be pristine. Auntie looks like a 10. Auntie looking like a straight up savage. But I think she voted for Trump. Ew, Trumpies. All right, let's pop her into this bag. Next up, we got John Gamia. He says, hello again, mister. Can I get 4 Ultra Prism? You sure can. John Gamia. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Tier 1 grade the waifu card with subgrades. Sounds good. The slab looks so much better with the subgrades. What? Sneep. You live under a rock? Sneep. That's right. He's Patrick. Not getting subgrades and then comparing it to PSA isn't a direct comparison. To have subgrades and a PSA sub 10 score means the grading will be more tough by nature. What? Here goes. We got Heat Rotom. I've noticed a lot of textured card come back from CGC as 9.5. Wonder if there's something about textures that trigger the computer. Well, I don't think it's the textures that lower the grade. I think that they actually find something. You know what I mean? That's what I think happens. They look for the texture and they go, aha, there's something wrong with the texture here. Magmortar and Morlul. Oof, those were some cold Ultra Prisms. And I tell you what, we'll get you a little bonus card, okay? How would you like to pull? Well, I will give you the Mad Cargo, okay? That sound nice? I'm freezing, mister. I know, I'm so sorry, but you got a free Mad Cargo, and I believe that's from Lost Thunder, correct? Now, Mr. Gomio. That's why people prefer PSA, because English has a lot of printing issues. Right, but again, what you're saying is people prefer to have those issues be ignored, which is, it's like telling a lie about what you have. You need to tell the truth about how a card grades. If somebody impartial to the value of the card said, here are the flaws, how do those flaws add up to a perfect grade? It doesn't make sense to me. What does make sense to me is PSA, they have a financial incentive to give you a 10, because oftentimes when they give you a 10, that means, sometimes it means they can upcharge you. So that right there is a straight up financial, motive for them, or incentive for them to give you good grades. That's a big deal. John Gomia. All right, and we'll say C1+. There we go. PSA gives higher grades and people like it. We're right, but that's because people like being told that their card that has flaws is a 10. And just like you would like it if you were told you were perfectly beautiful, even if you had a non-symmetrical face. It's It's nice. It's nice being told you look good, but if you have some sort of flaw, then actual grading would point it out. And PSA is supposed to be the authority of grading. They're really almost like the authority of lying about grades. They're almost the authority of lying about how nice a card is. I mean, I've got a lot of PSA graded cards and I've gone over them. There's so many of them that have flaws. Like, look at this. This is the front of the card. Look at this. Thin on the left, thick on the right. Look at that. You see it right there. How's that a 10? It doesn't really make sense to me. Check the back. Left fat, right is thin. 10. They just tell you what you want to hear. And I get that. I get that people they want to hear what sounds best to them, but that's not the point of grading. The point of grading is to be accurate. So does that make sense? The point of grading isn't to tell you what you want to hear. The point of grading is to be accurate. And they're not very accurate at all. So when I go shopping for a 10, me being a collector, I actually care a lot if the card is off center. That's what I'm pouring my money into, maybe thousands of dollars. So whether the card is well centered on the front is very important to me, a buyer who has thousands of dollars to pour into the cards. And I don't trust this anymore. When I see a 10, what does that mean? It means this goofy card gets a 10 and this goofy card gets a 10. So this doesn't have any value to me anymore. This 10 doesn't have any value. The pristine 10 does from CGC, because when I buy pristine 10s, they're actually good. But PSA 10, no. And over time, more and more people will figure that out. Mister's hands are perfectly symmetrical. I just bought a CGC 9.5 first edition Team Rocket Charmander. Nice. Am I stupid for wanting to send my cards to either you or CGC to be graded? They would be cards I don't sell but want to keep. No, not at all. Zion says, I got a Mega Charizard, both of them X and Y cards. Some people just want PSA 10 slabs. So take your statements like butter. You say some people just want PSA 10 slabs. We can translate that to some people don't want accurate grading. So I can play around with what you just said there and say some people want to be patted on the back and told that their 9 is a 10. There's all kinds of ways we can play around with your statement. You got to present an argument as to why a card should be graded inaccurately. Or you should present an argument that when a card is off center on the front and it's given its highest grading from a company, that's an accurate way to grade cards. It's not. But there's all kinds of obvious reasons why it's worked out that way. It worked out that way because all the customers are demanding it. It works out that way because PSA can upcharge you sometimes when they hand out a 10. So there's all kinds of benefits to financial benefits to claim a card as a 10. But when it comes to actual grading, the most important factor is accuracy. And when you're a buyer of those cards, you should care about accuracy. And I would say that, as a collector myself who wants to put a lot of money into cards, accuracy matters to me like a lot. It matters immensely. Do population reports show that there are much fewer 9s than 10s? Oh, I don't know. So next up, we got Michael Cusick. Mr. Michael. He says, hi, mister. Can I get 10 Jet Black, 2 Tifas, and 5 Japanese team-ups? All right. Kara says, Space Knight says, do you have any CGC Perfects yet? Not yet, but I'd like them. I certainly would like one. Like Butter says, their parameters are that for a 10, it needs to be 40-60 on the front and 75-25 on the back. That's it. They don't care if it's perfect, just if it's in those parameters. Right, but a 10 would suggest perfectness, right? So a 10's like, we're in the, what do they call that? The decimal system, is that what we call it? Binary, what do we call it? We go by tens and hundreds in our counting system. And that's basically going to be the highest grade. I could understand if their highest grade was 10, but then they also had like some way to tell you when it was actually perfect, but they don't do that. They don't distinguish that. So they've got these cards that are clearly off center and they're saying, oh, well, we just allowed them to be off center, but then also here's our perfect grade. So you're just saying that they're admitting on their page that they don't grade cards well. I mean, that's all that I hear when you say that. Just because they say a 10 is off centered doesn't mean that that card's graded accurately. The idea here is that PSA sets the rule for what a 10 is. I don't think PSA sets the rule on what a 10 is. A 10 is a card that's it doesn't have manufacturing flaws. And you can create like this fake 10 that makes people feel good and call it the Gem Mint 10, but actually a perfectly, a card with almost no flaws. Even CGC differentiates between pristine and perfect 10. So even CGC, when they started grading, they're like, you need to know when a card's not perfect. So they created the pristine grade as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Butter says they do set the rules. Not if they keep it up, in my opinion. So they've been grading for a while, but what has been their competition? Beckett? And people don't grade with Beckett because Beckett's got the big square slabs, right? So PSA's kind of been floating along with almost no real competition. CGC just stepped in and gave them real competition, and they only started a year ago. So this is all pretty new. The market for card grading is young. It's not old. PSA is ahead of its time doing this card grading, and good on them for that. But it's time for them to innovate and to adapt. And they've got competition stepping in and doing what PSA should have already been doing. And they're going to quickly lose if they don't figure that out, because that's how fast business moves. So I'm a big buyer of cards. You guys don't know how much I actually hold on to. I don't want these anymore. I don't want Gem Mint anymore. I want pristine 10s. So anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. PSA does not set the rules on what a 10 is. A 10 is an accurately graded card, not a card that makes you feel good so that you can go flip it like a scalper on eBay, okay? So that's my opinion. Let's see, he wants 2 Tifas. Two Tifas. And 5 team-ups. Oh, mister. Would you actually give me that PSA 10 Dark Dragonite Hollow from Returns if one of my shiny Charizards come back as a perfect 10? Oh, from Rocket Returns? No, I wouldn't sell that. I really like that card. A lot of people also just go for display value where a 10 would be sufficient. Yeah, but you don't say that it's a 10 for display value. You say it's a 10 because it's graded flawless. But again, PSA does... I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. I feel like there's a lot of people defending PSA's 10, but I feel like they ignore the other side of the argument where it's like, why would you have your highest grade include a manufacturing flaws? What's the point of grading at that point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could say a 9 is displayable. You could say an 8 is displayable. You could say a 7 is displayable. So why should your 10 include all kinds of flaws? Definitely not just displayability, right? We grade cards not just for displayability, but because we want to know that it's free of manufacturing flaws and user flaws or owner flaws, right? All right, here we go. Yeah, I sound like a broken record. Collectors send PSA 10s to Beckett to try and get Black Label. 99.9% don't get the Black Label. This really shows that PSA standards on 10s are not accurate. Right, so there's the reality about whether or your card has a manufacturing defect on it or not. That's a reality that PSA can't change. They can claim that your card's a 10. That doesn't actually change whether or not your card has a manufacturing defect on it. And the purpose of grading is to let people know if a card has manufacturing defects. But PSA, because they've had no competition for so long, they sort of created this standard on their own, this very subjective standard that here's this card and it's heavily off-center. Oh, by the way, it's off-center in the front and it's a 10. And people have just been going along with that because, well, I'll be honest with you. I think most people just go along with it because they just care about the money. That's it. I think that's the main reason people go along with it. Really, they just want the money. I think it's all about money for them. And it's not all about money for me. The philosophical or the abstract idea of grading a card is very important to me, and it creates the real organic demand for cards. So you should know if your card has a manufacturing defect, and it should be an accurate grade. And just because it benefits PSA financially, and it benefits you, the card grader, financially, to kind of ignore the blemishes, doesn't mean that's good for actual hobbyists. It doesn't mean it's good for collectors. And CGC is closing that gap on the need for accurate grading. And there's, basically there's sellers who go, I'm not going to go with CGC because I won't make as much money. But really the response from buyers should be, hey, we really do expect to know what we're buying. You know what I mean? Buyers can change the market, not just sellers. So I don't want people's crappy PSA 10s anymore unless I can examine the card with my own eyes and determine it's really a 10, which is unfortunate because again, that defeats the idea of the 10. A lot of people just want to be able to see that number and trust it, but I don't trust it anymore. The trust has been broken. The trust has been broken pretty, pretty easily because it's such a glaring problem on all their cards. And you would feel the same way. Even Mr. Like Butters would feel the same way. If he was about to buy a card, let's say for $10,000, Mr. Butters, and you had two PSA 10s, and one was actually really well centered on the front, and the other one was off centered in the front, which of those two cards are you going to pour $10,000 into? Oh, it'll turn out that you actually do care about accurate grading once you start spending real money on collecting these very expensive cards. It turns out you care a lot about accurate grading as the buyer. So I'm not here to, give a handout to the sellers who are essentially flippers and are just looking to make money. I'm not there to give them a handout and shake their booty cheeks for them and say, don't worry, we'll make your manufacturer defect card a 10 so that you can make more money. PSA might be in the business of that, but then they wouldn't be the authority on card grading to me as the buyer. They would just be a company amongst many companies. You see what I'm saying? All right, here we go. And there's a lot of companies rising up right now. Right now, a lot of companies are jumping in because this is the beginning of card grading. PSA is a company that's had an advantage for a long time, and that's going away. They'll actually need to provide good grading. And the concept of good grading will suddenly come into question. PSA was always in the card grading business. That's why there are more PSA Pokemon cards that are graded. Just that they're within the parameters. All right, what do we got? We got Greedent. Oh my gosh. I believe it's a mistake to go all in on CGC. Sad but true, Mr. is right, but most people don't know the hobby as well as him, so ultimately it boils down to Mr. is wrong because PSN will be pop. My ex was good at shaking her booty cheeks. Your ex, Mr. Wayne says if you get 9 out of 10 questions correct on a test, you don't get 100 on a test. That's right. You get a 90 on the test. Well, even if you miss like 1 or 2 questions, you don't get 100. You get like a 98 or 97. So PSA could do that. They could have a 9.5 grade that they hand out more often, but they just don't hand out a 9.5 grade. You know why? Because they know their customers don't want that. But their job isn't to give their customers what would make them more money on a flip. Their job is to be accurate at grading Pokemon cards. And it's too late for them almost. Like, they've graded so many cards using this old paradigm that even if they swap to the new paradigm, you would just have like this huge glut of PSA graded cards where you could laughably be off center as high as 25-7 margins on the back. You know what that looks like? It's such a joke to look at it. It's so obviously off center when you see it on the back. It's like, you got to be kidding me. When you see a 75-25, one that's like on the edge, right? So there's cards that are off center by like the tiniest smidge, right? But then there's cards that are like really off center. Have you ever seen those grade 10? You look at it and you're like, that's a joke, man. Who's buying this? But somebody who doesn't know what they're buying does. And so somebody is stuck with an off-center card that PSA called a 10, and now they have to dump it off on somebody else, and then that guy's going to have to dump it off on somebody else. One day, there'll be so many collectors that will be much harder to do. And also, one person always does get hurt, the guy who's left with that card. He eventually is hurt. And, but PSA, they'll be around. They're the industry leader. I just wish they would make some changes, and then I could sing the good praises of their card grading company again. But I can't do that for now because part of my job is to tell you guys the things I would spend my own money on. And a poorly graded PSA slab's not one of them. So I can't advertise something I don't believe in. Michael Cusick, Mr. Michael, I can't sell something I don't believe in. Just collect sealed products. Like Butter says, the idea of a perfect card is subjective. That's a great subject. Let me ask you something. Is it? Is it really that subjective? Like, look at this. You just take a card, and humans have like been measuring stuff within the accuracy of a fraction of a human hair for like a really long time now. How do you think we make like engines, for example? How do we make airplane engines? How accurate do you think their measuring tools are? So with the card, all we need to do is measure these 4 lines. This is not even rocket science. Just measure them and ask yourself, what fraction are they off by? Are they all equal to each other? Oh, they're not? Well, then that's not a perfect card. So you need a grade that suggests a card is perfect. That would be the black label or the perfect 10. And then you need a grade that suggests it's not perfect. That could be the pristine 10, or it could be the gem mint 10, right? But that's that problem for PSA. They don't have those 2 higher grades. So you don't really know what you're buying here. They suggest this is the highest grade with PSA, and I think that's where all the mistake is. There's centering is not that subjective. Surface is not that subjective. You can get computers that check the surface of a card for print lines. Edges, there's serration, there's, what do they call it when there's a bend? Serration and trebuchet is coming to my mind. What a funny word to be coming to my mind right now. There's a curve that occurs during cutting. It's a lip. I don't remember the name of it. There's a certain name of it. But also there's actual like user damage. So the holder, the person who previously owned the card, they might have left that on the card as well. So there's manufacturing defects, there's user defects. All of these things are very non-subjective. The thing is, when it comes to like scientific anything, what's interesting is it's all quite measurable. And when it comes to a physical thing like a card, most of this is very measurable. So I think it's not necessarily true to call it subjective. I think what's really gone on is we're all simping for PSA. We're all big simps going, oh man, I want my PSA 10 to be valuable. And I would hate it to find out that my PSA card is actually not that valuable. So we're all simping hard for PSA, and it doesn't really change the reality of your card. And I'm somebody who really cares about reality. So you should too, by the way. You should care about the reality of the grade on your card. Just because PSA called it a 10 doesn't mean that it doesn't have a manufacturing defect. And they don't get to decide what a perfect card is. The reality of the card decides what a perfect card is. I think that's the idea I really am trying to explain, that people, I think they struggle sometimes with like those abstract concepts. But I also think people are clever enough to, maybe they go to bed and it starts to sink into their head like how much that matters. Like, I could call my ex-girlfriend a 10. That doesn't make her a 10. And maybe it was my opinion, but if we were to have society, every single person in society vote on the most beautiful women, then we could actually start to establish some sort of objective measurements for beauty and stuff like that. Well, it's the same for cards. If you could have 1 million people who don't collect cards start to establish what a perfect 10 or a 10 represents for a card, and not just the people flipping the card for profit, who are driven by profit to claim that this off-center card is a 10. But I mean totally people who are not going to be biased tell you what they think a 10 is. And you'll quickly find out that they will not accept a card that's poorly centered. They will not accept a card with surface problems or edge problems or problems with the corners. All right. Anyways, yeah. Ramiro Andrade, he says 2 hoops. Mr. Ramiro, you got it. Here we are, NBA hoops. When you do your own grading, would you have a link system, like a way to grade 2 to 3 cards? What? Is there really such a thing as a perfect 10 unless you look under a microscope? Well, and exactly, there's a point when you reach a sort of overgrade, right? And maybe that's when you start comparing the molecules in the card. But we can say, without a doubt, we can say, if you took millions of humans who are totally unbiased and you asked them to define what a perfectly good anything is, they're going to say, you can't be unsymmetrical. That's not perfect. You know what I mean? That's what they'll say. So, but it is the flippers in the market that are deciding what a 10 is. It's the flippers that are saying, oh, well, PSA says that my card with a white dot on the back and a print line in the hollow, and it's off center, They're the ones saying that it's a 10, therefore it's good. Well, of course you're saying that. You're the one selling it. You're the one turning a profit on it. Of course you're saying that's what it should be. It makes perfect sense coming from you. But some people actually do care about the concept of a perfectly graded card or an accurately graded card. Jaden. And then again, I want to get back to this concept of organic demand. There's organic demand for things, all right? So people do care about those concepts. And when they find out that there's a company that is actually accurately grading cards, what you find out is people really do prefer those pristine 10s and perfect 10s from a company like CGC. And then they start to question, what is the next PSA 10 I'm dumping $10,000 into? Can I actually trust that to be worth my $10,000? And when I go back to the market to sell it, remember, you're not just buying something for $10,000. One day it'll be your job to sell it. You really want to buy the cards that's off-centered for $10,000? You won't. You'll want the card that's actually well-centered, because that's what people really care about, is good centering. They don't care about the PSA 10 as much as they care about it actually being well-centered. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, Mr. Ramiro, I'm talking my mouth off tonight. What a night, what a night. Richard, Russ, Rob, Raul, Robin. I think I saw James say something about the Leaning Tower of Pizza. The Leaning Tower of Pizza would get a qualifying grade. Off-center. It would get an off-center 10. That's what it would get. The OC. Wait, does Ramiro have a bag? He says, I have a bag and I want live shipping. All right, Mr. Ramiro, give me a minute as I locate your bag. Okay, that's Jack Gray, Jeremy Connell, Dan Newman. Who's this? This is David. David Medalio. Kelby. Haunted. That's Joe Harris. John Gamia. Michael Cusick. Jeff Leon. If I can find you, Mr. Ramiro. Evan Shea. Fergie Cave. Jacob Kai. Ramiro, where do we put your bag, mister? Jeremy Helmstadter on the other side. Let's check the R box again. The Leaning Tower Pizza would get a PSA 10 off center. So you're not here. Katie, where'd his bag go? Maybe it isn't here. Mister, I don't know if you said my name yet, but did you pull my custom boosters? Not yet, mister. Richard, Russ, Rob, Raul, Robin, Ronald, Raul, Ricardo Mendiola, Ryan Payne. Mr. Ramiro, do you remember anything about where your bag's being stored? Here's R. Marquez. Is this it? No, Rafael Aguilera. Luis Laura. We got so many bags, guys. I might have to stand up here. Dave Jance. Here's this. Alex, Earth Savior. Biggest health tip. You can lose weight by just doing that. What? I have a bag, live shipping. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stand up to start looking for your bag, okay? Because I got to find it before we can ship it. There's Yakov, Giovanni, Eddie Perez, Luke something. Kitty, where's this bag, Kitty? I could have sworn you would have been on this end cap here. How is it not here? Oh, is it this one? Oh my God. I found it. I had to place it on a new location that we've never used before. And I had to do that because we're running out of room so badly. So it's a good thing you're live shipping because I need to start getting some of these bags off. Okay, he says, I have a bag. Let's get this label printed up, mister. Actually, I can see that the label software isn't up yet. Let me go ahead and open it. I'll set this here while that software loads up. In the meantime, let's take care of Kara Nichols, who wants 2 Vivids. All right, Kara Nichols. Best Pokemons to start investing in. Your favorite ones, mister. Sleep. Can we give you PSA cards in exchange for store credit? Mr. Sergio, you can absolutely do that. If you're interested in doing that, you just contact me on Discord and offer me a trade, okay? All right, I'm sorry, Miss Kara. 2 cold cards this time. I sold my Pearl version recently for 40 bucks. That's why the Perfect 10 sell for obscene amounts of money. Well, yeah, they sell for a lot of money when they even come onto the market at all. I think a lot of people who get 10s, like the Perfect 10s or the black labels, I don't even think they sell them. I think a lot of them just keep them because some of the people are actual collectors too. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Stamps.com is up. James says, can you look up my order, please? I sure can. Give me a minute. I've just refreshed, so let me go find your order, Mr. James. John Gamio, Jeremy, Adam, Jonas, Jesse, Alex, Jeremy, Dan, Emmanuel, John Gamio, Ryan, James, Andras, Dave, David, Dan, Dustin, Jack, Ryan, Edgar, Yakov. So I'm not seeing an order for you. Is that why you're having me look it up? Oh, is it this order from the other night? James Goward, 3 custom boosters. Mr. James Goward, are you saying that the order from May 22nd never got opened? Is that what you're claiming? Because I didn't see another order. Let me go through the orders for today again. We got Yakov, David, Edgar, Ryan, Jack, Dustin, Dan, David, Dave, Andres, James, Ryan, John, Emmanuel, Dan, Jeremy, Alex, Jesse, Jonas, Adam, Emmanuel, Jeremy, John, Michael Cusick, Ramiro, Kara, Jeremy, Alex, Juan Garcia, Jesse, and Michael. James Gower says, I just ordered one tonight. Well, you might want to double check your PayPal because I just went through all the orders and I don't see one for tonight. Okay, Mr. James Gower? So that might be, if you've been waiting for a while, that might be it because I didn't actually see one for you. So you'll want to check your PayPal for that real fast. All right, so that clears that up. Mr. Ramiro, let me get this label printed for you, Mr. Ramiro. And Ramiro confirms his address as starting with 25. Okay. Mr. Ramiro. Here it is. You're new, Jen? How's it going, man? Man, so many old nickname guys. I wish I could remember your nicknames more easily, but it's actually pretty hard to do that. All right. So I got your label printed. I'm going to set you over there. And we're going to get to opening up the next set so people don't wait too long. Right, Kitty? Hey, Kitty's here tonight. Check it out. Kitty's actually hanging out. She's just grooming herself. She doesn't like to be alone. I fell asleep on the love seat today, and she was at my feet when I woke up. It's so cute. Okay. Let me just go over what we're doing. So we've got Mr. Jet. He wants 7 team up. Very nice. We got 3 team up. That is not team up. Here's team up. All right. More cushion for the pushing. What? Kitty hype. Yeah, she's been sleeping out on the love seat with my wife instead of hanging out with me. But I think tonight my wife actually went to bed. She's got work in the morning. 7 team up. I don't want the hollows and the reverse hollows, just the hits, says Mr. Jeremy Tierney. All right, sounds good. You don't want the hollows? Well, there is a Blastoise and there is a Charizard, so you probably do want those. You ready? Good luck. Yeah, just remember, guys, PSA's grading standard kind of evolved out of having no competitors to make them have to try harder, in my opinion. BGS was their main competitor. And then after that, what was it, like GMA or something? Really no competition. Moltres. That's cold. Here's, oh, see, check it out. Holographic Charizard. Very nice. Cold. Tag Bolt, yeah, well, I just call it Japanese team up. I know that there's 2 sets that make up team up, just you know, just like any Japanese set. But I make it simple for people to understand. Because if I called it Tag Bolt, a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about. Charizard and Blastoise, woo! Mister, it looks like you got no hits, but you actually did. These 2 hollows, Charizard and Blastoise. Very nice, mister. All right, and that goes to our friend Jeremy Tierney. Jeremy, we put you in the G box. Sweet. Next up, we got Juan Garcia. He says, I'm bored. 1 live pack. All right, you got it, mister. Ah, Mr. Juan Garcia, I'm sorry. But I tell you what, Mr. Garcia, we're going to throw in Genesect as well because you're so cool. Thanks for buying that live custom, man. Here we go, Mr. Juan Garcia. How do you buy cheap slabs? You buy cheap slabs from the man in the alley. Jack Gray says, I think I might have been missed. Okay, let's go looking for a Jack Gray. Yakov, David, Edgar, Ryan. Jack Gray. 1 Jet Black and 1 Team Up. Bags in the overflow. You might have been missed. Hold on. You might be right about that. Oh, mister, you were missed. I'm sorry, Jack. So here we go. There's your bag. A Jet Black and a Team Up. Okay, here's a Jet Black. And here is a Team Up. Good luck on your pulls. Sorry about that. So weird. I've been doing pretty good. I haven't been missing people very often. Here it goes. And it is. That's a cold pack. But how about this? Maybe this would be a hot pack. It is Zorora. 2 packs, 1 hit, mister. There you go, Mr. Jack. Sorry about that. It's, you know, it's easy to miss an order. But I've been working hard to not make any mistakes, and it looks like tonight I did. So that's unfortunate. So jumping back up here, we helped Mr. Jet. And now we have Mr. Juan Garcia, who opened up the 1 live pack. And then Jesse Sashquim, who says 3 Shiny Star V. All right, Shiny Star V love. Only the hot pulls, he says. Here they are. Only the hot ones. You got it. When there's 2 guys that like a girl, they both realize they have competition, so they try harder to impress the girl better than the other. I don't know, I'm just trying to make a good comparison. That's right, you butt heads with the other goat, you go, meh, and then once one of you is dead and the other one of you has brain damage, the girl then allows you to have sex with her. It's called nature. Do you think they will ever reprint Cosmic? Maybe. Or maybe they're done. You never know. What we do know is there's going to be a finite amount of cosmic eclipse. And so you're asking if they're going to be reprinted because you want to know if it's going to get cheaper and that you should wait for it to be cheaper to buy some. But you know, if it turns out they don't reprint any, you're looking at the cheapest price for cosmic right now. And every day it gets more expensive than the previous day. Oop. So you have to kind of guess if you can predict when the price on the cosmic is going to be cheapest. And I don't know if I would bother trying to make that prediction. Jesse. Let's find Jesse's bag. Jesse, you're not in the... You're right here. All right. Cosmic doubled in the last 6 months, says Paul Baldwin. Did it really double? I don't know if it doubled. I'll have to go look at that. But it did go up. But all the sets did go up. Michael Cusick said 1 more order for the night. 10 Jet Black Spirit and 10 Silver Lance. All right, here's the Jet Black Spirit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we're going to need more, huh? Jet Black Spirit. Curly fries or regular fries? I can't stand French fries. They're so gross. They've always been gross. So I'm going to choose the secret third option that you didn't give me, which is onion rings. Okay, so I'm going to say neither / onion ring. $10 Silver Lance. Silver Lance. Silver Lance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has Tammy Lowe pulled the obese Pikachu? She has not, unfortunately. Well, not live anyways. I don't know if she's trying at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who doesn't like fries, mister? I can't stand them. Fries are like pasta. They feel like you're just kind of eating nothing. Like it's kind of like eating cement or something. I don't know. I've never really enjoyed them. I do like hash browns though, right? Like the breakfast food hash brown. Those are really good. But like French fries, I'd rather have 2 hamburgers than a hamburger and fries. And you know, honestly, French fries are just a stick that you use to dip with ketchup, which I hate ketchup. Never liked ketchup. It's always been a gross condiment. I like tomatoes, but not ketchup. Ketchup almost tastes greasy somehow. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? I think ketchup tastes like syrup or something like that. So he said, Andras says, you don't like pasta? I don't really like pasta that much. I can eat nice tasting pasta, but I really rarely eat pasta. I don't eat it very often at all. How do you like tomatoes but not ketchup? Well, have a tablespoon of ketchup and then compare it to the flavor of a real tomato. They're nothing alike. They barely taste alike at all. So tomatoes are good. Ketchup is like tomato flavored corn syrup is what it tastes like almost. Well, anyways, I do like hash browns. They're okay, but French fries, there's something about them, man. They get all soggy and weird, and yeah, I don't know. How about hash browns that are like homemade and they still got the skin on, and they got like rosemary in them and garlic. Maybe they got sausage in them. So that's really good. But French fries, just fried in like vegetable oil, covered in salt, and then you dip it in that nasty ketchup. It tastes like sad food or something, you know what I mean? Nothing about it makes me feel good. What about freedom fries? Have you tried those? I haven't even heard of them if they're a thing. A line of ketchup a day keeps your mom away. What? Mister, do you like mayonnaise? I'm not a big mayonnaise fan either. Mayonnaise is kind of goopy and gross. I don't know if you guys didn't know this, but I don't like foods that are goopy. Foods that are goopy are gross, man. Mister, what about cheese curds? Is cheese curds where you take fries and you cover them in like cheese or something? But you know, onion rings are okay. I like onion rings. How about mustard? Mustard's pretty good. Yeah, nothing wrong with mustard, but the yellow mustard's not that yummy. I like more like a brown mustard or a Dijon mustard, or like almost like a horseradish mustard, right? Elijah said, seems like it's better to buy a slab of a card that you want than open a bunch of packs. That's actually sometimes accurate, but sometimes that's not accurate. It just depends on what you open. So sometimes people open packs and pull like Charizard, but if you go and try and buy Charizard, he's quite expensive. When am I getting the new Dragon Ball Z cards? I'm getting them right now. All right, where do we go? Actually, my favorite seasoning, for those who don't know, my favorite seasoning, without a doubt, is sriracha. Oh my gosh, I'll eat sriracha until I'm dying of heartburn, which I think I'm starting to discover. I eat so much of it these days. I eat so much sriracha, I think it gives me heartburn. Because if I stop eating it, I don't get any heartburn at all. I can just eat food. And I looked it up, and I discovered that spicy food can give you heartburn. So I'm over here dicing up like a jalapeno a day and putting that into my food, and then covering it in black pepper and sriracha. And I think that's been giving me some heartburn. Who is sriracha? You put sriracha on your fried noodles. Sriracha all day. Actually, one of my favorite flavors of all time is soy sauce. I can't get enough of that flavor. It is such a good flavor. No wonder it's used in so much cooking. Soy sauce and sriracha. I could pretty much, if I ate nothing but those two seasonings on all of my food. Oh, mister, there you go. Secret Rare Metagross in your Jet Black Spirit packs. Very nice, mister. Whew, I was going to say, your round was a little tough, but it cleaned up right at the end on the very last pack, huh? Very nice. Above Expectation says CGC and PSA are just like fries and onion fries. Not even close. The analogy does not make any sense, because what you're trying to say is, oh, it's just a subjective flavor of opinion. That's not true at all. What I'm trying to say is we need a card grading company that takes grading seriously. They want to give you an accurate measurement of whether or not your card's properly centered, whether or not your card has manufacturing defects, and almost like scientific results, because that's when we get to a level of complexity that cards that are worth $10,000 to $500,000 deserve. They deserve that level of quality of grading. And to suggest that, oh, just make it a 10 because the flippers like that better is a terrible argument. It's not just a subjective versus, I should say, two subjective flavors. It's really not that sort of situation. It's kind of like a, do you want this airplane to fly or do you want it to crash midway flight? You know what I mean? So if you want precision grading, one thing's for sure, PSA doesn't offer that. They offer, I think it's a 10. They offer that grading. I would like it to be a 10. They offer that grading. And it's terrible, by the way. Michael Cusick. I want it to fly. Have you seen anything from PSA that they have used the new robo grading on? Is it still the same poor grading or has it gotten better? Well, if they haven't changed their philosophy on what counts as a 10, then it doesn't matter whether they use a robot or not. And really, the robo grading, you know, in the end, is always a human that types up the grade. But you know, I'm interested in what they do with their technology. Mayo is great for making sauces. Most sauces use mayo as a base since it's very easy to change the flavor. Have you tried the seasoned fries from McDonald's? Man, McDonald's is a nightmare. Mr. Michael, let's find your bag. McDonald's. Here we are, Mr. Michael. It can go the other way. It can be a 9 and actually it can be a 10 and actually a 9. The PSA, even though they might be slightly off center, 610, you just don't like it and you would rather have a 10 that's 50-50 because that's what you like. Basically, what you're trying to argue is that the number 10 is subjective. That's what you're trying to say. 10 is subjective. But symbolically, it's not subjective at all. Symbolically, 10 is represented like a final grade for a long time. And that's precisely why they use it here, by the way. PSA doesn't use the number 10 because they like the number 10. They use the number 10 because it represents a complete grade, a final and you know, like a top score. Just like on your test, where you grade 100. So they're grading 10 the way that on a test you took at school grades 100. And they round it to up to a 10, even in cases where it probably shouldn't even get the 9.5, they give it like a 9, they'll still give that a 10. And it's almost laughable at this point. And again, I'll use this example. Say you had 2 cards graded by PSA. The card on the left would actually grade pristine with CGC, or let's say perfect with BGS, like Black Label. And then the PSA 10 on the right with PSA is totally goofy looking and off center. They're both PSA 10 Gem Mint. Which one of these cards do you want to pour $300,000 into? The pristine one or the Gem Mint goofy ass terrible graded one? Well, you're going to pick this one over here all the time. But they're both graded Gem Mint. So, oh, but a 10's a 10. No, it's not. No, it's not. A 10 to 10 is garbage made up flipper language. People who just want to make scalper money. A 10 is not just a 10. The accuracy of the grading matters enormously, especially for anyone who wants to take the card serious as an investment of a lot of money. So that's the example I'll leave you with. I guess we could disagree with this all day. So we'll have to, you go to bed and think about how you feel about it. I'll go to bed and I'll think about how I feel about it, because we can just, I'm like a broken record at this point. We can't keep talking about it. We got to move on to more fun subjects. Let's go ahead and refresh. But really let that sink in for a minute. 2 PSA Gem Mint 10s. One of them could technically grade perfect with BGS. The other one would grade like 9 with BGS. Which one of those you want to pour $300,000 in because you're buying like a trophy card or you're buying like a Charizard first edition? Which of those do you want to pour $300,000 in and know that one day you got to resell it too if you ever want your money back out? You're going to choose the one that grades perfect every time. But PSA calls them both Gem Mint. What a joke. That's terrible grading, by the way. All right, so we're logging back in. Do I sound outraged enough? Hold on, let me push my glasses up my forehead. It's not perfect. It's not technically perfect. All right. Mr. Vahan Gavandian is next. He says 2 Japanese team-ups. I might have a bag. Can't remember. All right, 2 team-ups. You got it, Mr. Vahan Gavandian. I've only used 2% of my power. Sneep. You're up against an army that will only act in self-preservation to keep their PSA 10s high value. Most can acknowledge the absurdity. Right, you used the correct word, absurd. You know, when you come out of the sort of conditioning you've had, and maybe it's a self-preservation conditioning, maybe it's a conditioning that you hear from, because it's hard to be tenacious and disagree with people on subjects, even when you know you're right. It's hard to do that, but they've been conditioned to accept that a card that's off-center in the front is a 10. It's hard to do that. And when you're out of it long enough, you look at it and you go, this is absurd. How's anyone roped into this? But then it all kind of makes sense when you realize it's just people trying to make money. Everyone's selling their PSA cards. And you know why you're selling it is because you don't want it. But you know, if it was graded like pristine 10 with CGC, you probably would want it, because you realize it's a card that's actually rare and hard to obtain. And so that's all kinds of red flags for you guys, by the way. When you yourself would not hold most of the cards you graded, that's a red flag about the future of graded cards and the direction that they're going to take. You have to be thinking real clever about what's going to happen just even in a few years down the road. Which cards are going to be real valuable? And let me tell you something. Not only is it going to be harder to find a card that's worth your money, but you're going to definitely want to make sure that that card's actually a 10, because people will find out. It may take time, but people will find out because of social media the value of a properly graded 10. Vahan Gavandian. With the V, let's find your bag, mister. Social media is really, really nice for figuring things out quickly. Here it is. Well, and that's why you guys, you know, might be popping in here for the live stream. You might have given me a subscribe. Maybe you've realized over a couple streams you enjoy the subjects we talk about. It's because we can spread ideas very quickly. Good ideas. Ideas that you actually have to defend. Mr. James says, okay, I ordered now. Three custom boosters. Mr. James, here we go. He wants 3 live customs. You ready? Adventure bag. Kahili, and two in the large, mister. Look at that. So you get 2 spots in the large for the price of $30 a spot, which is much better than the $40 a spot price. You ready? So you're in the large now, and it's almost as if your custom order is still ongoing, and you'll find out later how it does. Whoop. Mr. James. I have a gold Cherryzard that has 2 10 subgrades and 2 9.5s. This is 9.5, and its value is half of that of what a PSA 10 goes for, says John L. Well, that's because people are undervaluing it. And, hold on, let me write this up. People are undervaluing it because they're going out there and buying PSA 10s that are essentially equivalent to your CGC 9.5, and they haven't heard me speak about this subject. And they really need to hear me speak about this subject, because if more people heard this, like you, they would kind of snap out of this. They would become wiser about what is card grading, the abstract idea. Not the PSA, I'm the authority because I said so idea, but the actual concept of card grading. What is it really? All right, Mr. Andrade says, Mister, I'll take 5 more Oonies. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. People literally go to Vegas and throw money away. You should get Mike to cut your opinions tonight into one of the videos. Honestly, been very interesting. We could. I try not to do that with the live streams too much, because the quality of the live stream conversations are typically not as like I could make a video of it where I talk directly to the camera. I would do a much better job. Sometimes when we talk live, I'm still formulating. Did I say formulating? I'm still forming some of the language for how I'm arguing my position. Okay, here we go. We've got, Mega Sableye Tyranitar. All right, looking good. Pack number 2. Do you feel bad lowballing people on eBay? You should never feel bad for lowballing anyone, because eventually you might find somebody who accepts your offer. However, what I would tell you is that sometimes lowballing is actually you paying the regular market price. Slowpoke Psyduck. Aren't they adorable? Love this card. This is a Unified Minds card. What I was going to say is, sometimes you'll lowball and they'll accept the offer, and then you'll find out you bought somebody else's lemon anyways. So don't always assume that your lowball offer is actually even good for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a you get what you paid for situation. You see what I'm saying? You get what you paid for. So if somebody accepts your lowball, you should actually be suspicious of what you just purchased. Mr. Andras. Because when somebody has something of real good value and they know it, they'll never accept your lowball. Unless they're like in a medical emergency, which I guess that could happen. But when somebody has something that's truly valuable, they laugh off a lowball offer. And when somebody accepts a lowball offer, sometimes is because the item was very clearly overpriced, and all you've done is sent them an offer of the real market price. And then finally, the third time is sometimes somebody knows that you're buying a lemon, you're buying somebody else's problems, and so they'll accept a lower offer, and you think you've gotten a deal until you have the item in your hand and you see that it's hot garbage that you bought, okay? So be real careful with that. Be real careful with that idea of low balling. It's not just about whether or not you're being, what's the word? Courteous, I suppose, having the right manners. Just, you know, if you're just out there looking for low ball offers, you'll run into those situations where it's not as good of a deal for you as you thought. Jack Gray. Jack says, Mister, 1 Detective Pikachu and 1 Matchless. You got it. Pikachu and Matchless. If I paid $1,000 for a card and I got a lemon, I'd be pissed. Remember what they say, you got to make lemonade. Mister, ever cut a card? Oh my God. They would for sure get wrong item description. Cold. And hey, there you go. You got the Special Star Mewtwo out of the Detective Pikachu cards. So really, you ought to grade this card. The seller sent me a lemon. Okay, that's for Mr. Jack Gray. Thank you, Jack. Picking up that Mewtwo. I have that Mewtwo in my to grade pile. Can we talk about which cheese is the best? I'm a big cheese fan. Cheese is very delicious. It's not terribly healthy for you, but cheese is awesome, obviously. I think we all agree. And I like stinky cheeses, cheeses with really pungent flavors. Fresh mozzarella is really good. I'm pretty bored of like the sandwich cheeses we typically get. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like very basic cheeses we get for most of our sandwiches, and Americans really ought to start to demand some more variety from restaurants. My wife and I were eating at a restaurant today, and it was really good actually. It was a family-owned restaurant out here in Lake of the Ozarks, and the food was surprisingly good. We're like, wow, this is awesome. And we realized the point of a restaurant is you go to a place where they're supposed to cook better than you. And I think in 2021, everyone's becoming pretty good at cooking because of the effect of social media. You go onto YouTube and they will teach you every little thing about cooking on YouTube. So I think that especially with even simple items like sandwiches, there's so much room for improvement on how we make sandwiches. I mean, think about Subway. Subway's so poor. They have nasty cured with nitrates meat and the same nasty cheese, and their motto is eat fresh, but it's like what that one comedian said, not fresh at all. You know, it just feels like you're eating this cheap, nasty school cafe sandwich. They should step it up, man. And so I feel like that's why you see a lot of sandwich shops kind of stepping in and taking market share from Subway. And Subway used to be like the undoubted leader of, those submarine sandwiches. And now they're losing that market share because other places were willing to innovate. Well, we need even more innovation, and we should have more complicated and stinky cheeses in our sandwiches, and I hope we do, because I love stinky cheese. What do you think, Kitty? I had a cheese once when I was a kid. It was a German cheese that they sold at a local grocery store. It was kind of like an upscale grocery store, right? And I couldn't even tell you the name of it. It was some Kaiser this and that. And when you eat it, it's like so gross when you try to eat it that you like gag. It tastes like rotten flesh. But if you heat it up and let it melt, it suddenly becomes like any other cheese. And suddenly it's delicious. It was the weirdest thing. Because my siblings and I would all try to eat it, and it was so nasty. It was like under the balls cheese is probably what it was called in German. Under the balls cheese. But once you heated it up, it was so good. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh the line. Elijah says, are slabs safe or can they be counterfeited? I mean, I feel like they could be counterfeited to the untrained eye. If you're new to the hobby, you could probably be tricked with a slab that's not a true PSA slab and not a true Pokemon card, a proxy card. But that's for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I think the greater problem is if somebody sells you a fake slab with an image of a real slab, how do you convince eBay that they sent you a fake one? Because what if they deny it? What if they claim, nah, it was a real one? The good thing is, at least on eBay tends to take the side of the buyer. But, it could become a he said, she said sort of scenario where it's just one person's word against another. And it would suck if you ever bought an inauthentic slab and eBay sided with the seller. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's an issue, isn't it? It's an issue. People are talking about it. Next up, we have Eduardo Pascual. He wants 1 hoops. All right, we got 1 hoops and 1 ultra. You got it, mister. 1 ultra. How's it going, Arati? What? By the way, so on the PSA slab and the CGC slab thing, I'll still buy PSA slabs. It's just that I don't accept their grading standard anymore. So that's where I am with buying cards. But I really don't buy these as much anymore. I'm a lot more cautious about it. I'm curious to see what the future of PSA grading looks like. So I want to see that their new AI graded cards are much tougher. But if they don't change their grading philosophy, it won't matter. James Harden, Seth Curry, Evan, Chris, Miles, Robert Woodard, Jalen Smith, and Denny Avdija. Ooh. Look at all these basketball players. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a look at a PSA card and consider it if it looks like it's potentially a pristine 10. But I don't really want a gem at 10. Does PSA do a better job grading sports cards? That's a great question. I've never graded anything. I've never graded any sports cards before, although maybe that will need to change now that we offer sports cards. Magirna, one hollow Magirna to Mr. Estuardo Pascual. Let's find your bag, mister. Emmanuel, Mr. Estuardo, here's your bag. All right. TCC only supports CGC when it benefits him. I think I got a receipt from CGC today, which means we might have a CGC submission on its way back. Sadly, you have to really buy the card and not the grade with them. That's exactly what I mean. And a lot of people, that is a very easy way to explain the entire situation to them in a few words. Whenever you look at a card, even though it claims to be 10, remember you're buying the card and not the brand and not the grade. You're buying the card. And I think in the long run, you'll see a lot more brands pop up, and you need to be more open-minded to considering other brands. And what you really need to make sure is that you're buying cards that could grade 10 with any of those brands. So if you were to buy a card and regrade it at BGS, would it get a BGS 10? If you were to regrade at CGC, would it get a pristine 10? And of course, you know, if you send it to PSA, you probably will get the 10, which is just silly. Okay, one more refresh. I think we're coming to the end of the stream. We're at the 180-minute point. It's nice and late at night, and we had a lot of nice pokey openings. What do you guys think the best pull of the night was? Where did Brock simp? Yep, all right, so we're all done with orders. We're ready to do the giveaway. Let me go open up the giveaway channel. Kitty. You look so peaceful, Kitty. All right, so, where is it? I'm sorry, wrong channel. I was in the wrong Discord server. It looks like I just got rid of it entirely, so let me recreate it. All right, there we go. I've recreated the channel. It says giveaway. You guys can make your guess between 1 and 100. You get one guess, and then we will do a giveaway for that person. John L. says, I'm looking for a Pop Series 5 pack if anyone has one. Pop Series 5? Bye, 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 bye. The rarest basketball card to obtain is the one with the twins who killed their parents and then went to the Knicks game to sit courtside? What? James says, I made 100 guesses. James, naughty nooner. Make a video while opening the package. Simple. All right, let me open up the number generator as well. And we'll bring this over here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lock it up. Boop. So now it's hidden, and we're going to go ahead and find out who wins the giveaway tonight. 82. Damn, that's a big number. 82. 81. 80. Mr. Ching On, what's up, man? And let's see, your real name is Mario Lopez. What's up, Mario? Mister, that was 32. Let me double check. Hold on. 82, and he guessed. Nope, that was accurate. So the winner is Mr. Mario Lopez. He pulls Naganadel. All right, just a cold pack. But, you know, I think we were expecting it to be a cold pack. You know why? Because he had just pulled a spot in the large out just before that. Wait, why did I grab the R box? Mr. Mario, do you still have a bag on the table? Ponies are greater than Pokemon. Man, we've gone through 2 boxes of My Little Pony, which is actually more than I expected. Mister, how many people actually on average guess now that it's open to everyone? Good question. Clearly a lot more people do, though. Oh, that's weird. That list for the NBA hoops was moving. Oh, weird. It's a ghost. No, I'm just kidding. I've played the giveaway like 10 times and never won. It's wigged. That's correct. It's wigged for Mr. Mario. Mister, I have a bag. Sweet. And we're just doing this last refresh. And we have one more order for Mr. Tito. How's it going, Tito? One matchless fighter with live shipping. He wants to see his bag. All right, Tito with the T. Here it is, Tito Agostiniano. And let me open up your pack. Thanks for my daily serotonin. No problem. Thanks for being here, guys. And we talked about the subject of grading. You know, it would be nice if PSA just sort of offered a pristine 10, a perfect 10, and then I'd have no complaint with them. They can continue to do their Gem Mint 10, but they need to show that there's more accurate grading out there. Flying Nimbus. All right, mister. You got Pokies in all the right places. Put the Pokemon in the middle. In the rare chance that like a metal pole tries to cut through the bag, we are going to try and save the valuable hyper rare. Can I order some Opus? Go for it, Mr. DOGE, Mr. Prime. I'll wait for that order to come in. I don't mind. Okay, so Tito. Have we shipped Tito before? We haven't. All right, first time shipping, huh? Mr. Tito. I've got your address. Now I'm using your PayPal address, Tito. The one that starts with 43. Boop. And how small is the bag? It's pretty small. Print. There we go. People buying crypto basically explains why PSA will never lose market share. Well, and who knows? Maybe crypto will have some of a comeback, just because it's almost like a speculative game for people who love to speculate, and they're trying to beat each other at getting in at the right time and getting out at the right time. So I considered maybe it's this ongoing game, and it will always just keep going on. With there doesn't even have to be a profit involved. No need. People will just bet on it like gambling. So yeah, I think that crypto's not done. They'll probably eventually. I wonder if they'll make like a really useful crypto. But you know, I was really trying to figure out and just ask myself, why do I like crypto? What do I want to do with crypto? I didn't have an answer. I really didn't. And so that really, it scared me a lot. And I was thinking about that in light of the crash. So I was like, maybe a lot of people came to that same conclusion, and that's why so much money got pulled out. What is it that I want to do with crypto that I can't do right now? You know, I think at the very start, when I first heard about crypto a long time ago, before I'd even bought any, the idea of it being like, oh, decentralized and it's a hedge against inflation, those were really, really good arguments. I don't know if they're that good of arguments anymore. I don't know if people like buy into that as much anymore. Mr. Arturo says 2, Opus 11. You got it. Mr. Opus. Sneep. All right, here goes. Elena, that's a rare. What is this? Yuri, he's like a PR. Does that mean promotional? You got Elena. Sweet. And pack number 2 is Vincent. Vincent, which is an S card. Does that mean starter? I'm still trying to figure that out on these cards. All right, so Elena and Vincent. Very cool, mister. I'm actually a big fan of the Final Fantasy cards. They might be my second favorite after Pokemon. So Pokemon and then Final Fantasy. I can't wait to get some of them graded. Actually, that's something that PSA does do better than other grading companies, is they just grade a larger variety of cards. And I feel like the other grading companies need to start doing that. Do you need a new bag? Let's see if he needs a new bag. Mr. Arturo Connor Gillespie's up here. He's got a giant bag. Ah, here we are. Arturo Perez. You got the Gluck Gluck pony. Too much pie. Too much cream pie. All right, we'll put this away. What about Digimon? I don't know. Will you guys actually open Digimon if I order Digimon? I don't want to have a bunch of Digimon laying around and nobody wants to open it. That would be pretty bad. Okay, I think that's actually the end. Perfect. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.